There we go. There's the handsome face I was looking for. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me be frank with you. I have a great guest today, the one, the only, Santino the Misfit.
Yo,
Uh,
what up?
so before I like to talk a lot. So before I
You're
get
good
into
company, bud.
asking, yeah. So before I get into asking you questions about yourself.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, baby. Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. So, so yeah. Before I get into like how I want to tell everyone how we met. I know Santino for quite a number of years. He was a front man of a band, and I was a guitarist for this band back in the day. And we used to perform a lot of the same clubs. We were always in the same social circles. But as strange enough, when you're focused on business and talking to your fans and doing what you got to do. I never really got the chance
Hustling.
to, yeah, exactly, hustling. I never really got the chance to sit down and speak with you like, hey, I want to know what's up with you. But I see a lot of your social media posts, and that's why I wanted to invite you today because I see that you have a lot of um geeky like hobbies and stuff, like
Yeah, yeah.
as much of a cool dude as you are, like I didn't know that you
I
had like,
it's all
yeah,
it's all the hair, man, and
yeah,
that's the work in progress right now too. So that's
listen. Mine when I think when I stopped playing with the band,
that's
I
right.
think I think mine fell out. I mean, it started to fall out before that.
I
I'm
was
not
gonna
gonna
say it
lie,
started falling out because of the fucking band.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
so,
no, I've always been into that shit. It's kind of the cool kid thing came way
yeah,
fucking later, if such a thing exists in my life.
yeah.
So
That's true. That's true.
yeah.
Very same situation. But anyway, just give us a little rundown about yourself, who you are, what you do.
Sure. That's a long answer, but short version. I
Listen, I
make
have all night. You might not, but
yeah, I got all night, man. I'm gonna need a refill on a drink, but that's about it. I make shit. I like to make shit. I've been a musician since I was 13. Played my first live show with the Stone Pony and kind of never stopped. Um, and then I got into filmmaking as a result of shooting my own music videos, and ended up shooting my first feature. So I'm a director and producer. We did our first feature called Bully, which came out about a year or so ago, year and a half ago, with Danny Trejo, Ron Canada, Tucker Breezy, good little coming of age film that my father wrote. It's his first feature as well. He produced and wrote the script. And then I run through all this is through my production company, Mainstream Misfits. We have a clothing line called Mainstream Misfits as well. And I have a beauty brand called Fucking Fantastic, and we specialize in makeup remover towels, and a hair care line that my younger sister Joey D Fox, she's a stylist. She curated the entire thing. She's pretty much super badass when it comes to hair and making people look good. Um, yeah, so youlookff.com for that, and that's it, man. So I keep making shit, and genre wise, I'm all over the place. I've done, as you know, hard rock. I think I may have played with you in two projects
yep,
at some point.
yeah, yeah.
I was as a solo artist doing hip hop. I've done pop music, and now I'm just trying to mesh everything together and not giving a fuck about what chart it's supposed to go on or who we're supposed to play with or what box it's supposed to fit into, and just some of the new stuff's just a hodgepodge of all the shit that I like. And I think that's the way it should be anyway.
Yeah, of course.
But I got better at making the stuff myself, so now I can. I don't have to do it with other people as much, which is great.
Yeah.
you
Oh
know,
yeah.
run your own ship and shit. But yeah, that's it. So I make shit. I make all kinds of shit, and then we do a podcast too called Fire Made Monsters every Friday. Me and my boy Dane. So yeah,
Okay, we get definitely before the end of the night. I want you to post the. Actually, he typed in the chat. Anyone who comes in later, Santino the Misfit. He's also on Twitch. That's where you do your podcast from, right? You do it from Twitch as well.
yeah, it streams live to Twitch and YouTube.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
just posted it. Oh, hi in the
There
chat.
you go. There you go. Nice.
So yeah,
Nice.
follow me on Twitch and YouTube, Mainstream Misfits, and then my personal YouTube as well. It's too many fucking social media accounts, man. That's the one problem. I'm trying to consolidate, but it's hard because like people expect one thing on one account and other things on another account, and
A hundred
but
percent. You know what's funny? Like I've known you for. Thank you for the donation. Thank you for the donation, Alex. Much appreciated. So yeah, it's funny. Like I've been friends with you for quite a number of years, like I said, and
Oh wow.
I use Twitter so like I just started using Twitter. Like even though
Yeah.
I've had an account since 10 years ago, maybe
Yeah.
longer, I just started using Twitter because I realized as I'm trying to grow my Twitch page that Twitter is like the main vehicle for Twitch users. This is something that I've
Yeah,
noticed.
Twitter's
Yeah.
big, and then Instagram,
Yeah, I
depending on what your audience is.
like I thought about the Instagram thing. If I had hair like you and a face like you, maybe I'd be more into Instagram.
Honestly, it don't help me none, man. I ain't, I need big old bazoombas
Yeah.
and a nice ass and
Yeah.
just get to it. You can have
Yeah.
all the personality in the
Yeah.
world and shit, but if you have all those things together and you're on all the platforms, you do pretty well
Yeah.
usually. So, and good on you.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
yeah,
That's
that's
true. My ass is a little bit on the concave side. I have Hank
oh,
Hill
dude,
ass. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
lower back thigh.
yeah,
It's nothing.
yeah. I've got Hank Hill syndrome,
My
so
spine goes right into the legs and the back of
yeah.
segments, just straight down.
That's why I had changed my Instagram, which is Frank is great for those of you that don't know. Nice, Alex. You have the rack, but not the hair. Hey, listen,
There you go.
that's better. It's better to have one than none. You know, I don't have any of the. So,
Are you talking about, man? You pull off the shaved head look.
oh,
I'd
nice.
be. You imagine this blimp without hair on it? Like,
Actually, you'd still look good. I
oh
can picture
God,
it,
no!
but
I couldn't
hopefully,
do it.
hopefully you never have to. Never, you
Hanging on
never have
every
to. Yeah.
follicle for dear life.
Yeah, I had. See, you got that nice full hair. I had even like I had the like upside down like the Nintendo 64 controller. You know, I started to get that like you know what I'm saying, like that
Yeah,
fucking the
yeah.
V in the middle. That's how I started to, and I was hanging on for a while. I was trying to do like when I was in Machine Elves before we faded into nothingness. I was trying to like grow it out and push it over to this like doing this cool push, but then I noticed it more than other people did when I was on stage and people would take pictures. I start to notice a little cowlick in the back starting to like it was
Dude,
starting to get bigger and bigger, and I was trying to cover it. Then that's why like my one of my main pictures that I use is with the beanie. I was doing the beanie for a while because that
I
covers
remember
all.
that. Yeah, you had
Yeah,
it for a minute.
I
You
was
want to develop a fucking complex real fast? Go on stage and let people take pictures for you from every unflattering
mm,
angle while you're making every unflattering face with the worst lighting in history.
yep.
Being on stage, at a young age, I was really heavy in high school. I was like 300 pounds. Being
Mhm.
on stage and before people had like mobile phone, cameras and shit, because I'm old. And people would, they take pictures and shit, and actually have photos. And I remember seeing him. I was like, "That's what I look like." And that was like, I mean, dude, a huge chunk of what motivated me to lose. Like, I was down to like 100 pounds at one point, and as just it's the fucking crippling, absolutely fucking
Yeah,
crippling. Seeing you're like, oh, that's not good, you
yeah.
know.
It's funny because I've always been on like a I've always, what's up, Slick? How you doing? How's everything going tonight? I've always been like on a sliding scale my whole life. So when I was younger, I was super heavy. I was a heavy dude. Then I went to this like super lean mode, like because let's be real. I wanted to get laid at some point in my life. So when I hit like,
Exactly,
yeah.
dude.
So then
Right?
I started going crazy in the gym and hitting it. And
Yeah.
then like when I was like around 18, 19, I hit my like fucking my my like sexual like thirst mode activated, and I was in a band back then too. We weren't that great. We were but we were playing a lot of shows. We were doing a lot of stuff back then. Actually, one of the biggest shows I'll never forget. We opened up for Biohazard. We opened up for Vanilla Ice when he was doing
That's
metal.
cool.
Yeah.
We used to track at Billy's old studio.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
my boy Jeff Wallace was an engineer there. So we did, I think, I want to say, was it Foreverless, or is it the second version? It was Burn It
Oh,
All.
I
I
had
can't. One of the back two records. We did a huge chunk of it at Billy's studio with Jeff Wallace. I don't know if you remember Jeff. He was the singer of End of an Era.
yes. I remember End of an
Yeah,
Era. Yep.
because I've been tracking. I was tracking with Wallace, dude, from that first show I was talking about, from when I was 13. He did almost everything I had put out, except for like maybe two or three tracks from 13 all the way to like my mid 20s with Scarlett. Like he did all our records and everything and all the shit I had done before that. And he'd been he'd he'd been around, man. Both of us had that
Yeah.
motherfucker. We got way too used to each other at some
Yeah.
point, you know. But
were
sorry, I didn't
you?
mean to cut you off.
No,
But
no, it's all cool. This is what we do. Were you playing back when there was a band, a club in Brooklyn called L'Amour's, or was that?
I remember it.
Yeah.
I hadn't played there before. When I was gigging, I stayed mostly in Jersey at that when that was the things. I was younger, so we would do. I played Birch Hill, the second stage a lot.
Oh, okay, I
We did
remember
shit with
them.
like
Hmm.
Kitty and Head PE and those guys back in the day. I actually just realized this the other day. Well, I mean, it was a few months ago. The other day, fucking being the pandemic shit, time is a concept at this point. But I just realized that my buddy Sonny, Sonny Mayo, if you know him, he's been in a bunch of fucking bands. He's jumped around. He used to be in Snot. And he was in Seven Dust and all that. And I didn't know he was in Head PE when I played with him. So I've been friends with Sonny the last few years, but I played a show with him when I was like 15 or 16 or some shit and had no idea. So it was just complete coincidence because we were looking back on some of the. I just had this conversation about like what gigs he did at Birch and shit. So you're kind of like an old retrospective because it's obviously not around anymore if
Yeah.
you remember it. But that was like the spot. And then the Pony. I've been playing the Pony forever. Even the last Scarlet show we did was at the Pony.
And when was the last time you played with Scarlet? Because that was that.
The summer before the pandemic.
Yeah, because I
Because
remember you guys came back, right?
we did a reunion show, yeah, at the Stone Pony, um, in it was like June or July 2019, I think. And
Hmm.
then we put out that one single Further Down Again. We have another single too that we did the same time we did the first one, and it just has it just and it's the best. It's the maybe the best song we've ever done, and it's just been sitting on a hard drive. It's mastered and everything. We had I tracked the vocals with Jay Rustin, who's done a billion fucking things. We had what the hell is his name? Um, shit. We had this fucking the guy who mixed it, man. It is you go through like mixing engineers
Mm.
for your entire career, and every once in a while you land on someone and you're like, oh, holy shit, was that? Josh Wilbur, my wife remembers better than I do.
They
Josh
usually
fucking
do.
yeah, right. Dude, he just crushes. So now he's like maybe my favorite song that we've ever written, but like the mix, because I'm like I've literally spent all day today in Pro Tools. Like I'm a nerd for this shit, but I'm not nearly that good
Yeah.
at this shit. I'm getting better enough. Some of the stuff I put out is the shit that I've mixed myself for the first time, and it took me till my 30s to do that.
Hmm.
But yeah, dude, Josh just fucking crushed it, and it's killing me that it's not out yet. But um, a pandemic happened and all that. We wanted to shoot a video, and it just kind of became really hard to do. And we shot a bunch of stuff separate, which is how we did Further Down Again. It looks like we're all in the same place, but I'm here in Cali when I shot all my parts, and the guys are all back in Jersey in Tommy's garage.
Nice.
Shot their shit, yeah, and like the
I,
drowning scenes are in my bathtub upstairs and
hey,
shit,
listen.
So, but yeah, I lost the thread, but yeah, venues and music and stuff.
Yeah, that's how it goes. So yeah, I used L'Amour's. I was talking about like old clubs.
Mm,
L'Amour's was a Brooklyn club back in the
Jesus.
day. I was about to go on a tangent with you. I was gonna follow you down that rabbit hole because I was gonna
Let's
start
go,
talking.
man.
Yeah, because I was gonna start talking about like even like right before we kind of like I said faded into what's the word I'm looking for?
Obscurity.
I guess that's a good word to use. I was gonna say like yeah, like I
Typically,
yeah,
the idiom or whatever is, yeah,
yeah,
but
because our songs are just sitting in like collecting digital cobwebs on like all of
same.
these websites. You know what I'm saying? Like, it
Yeah.
sounds good when you say you're on every fucking major website in the world, but like I'm not doing anything with that music right now. But anyway, we were talking about
Mm.
recording some. We had some really good ideas for videos, and the problem is I feel personally, this is just my 2 cents. We were getting a lot of buzz around the first album, and I didn't want to write the second album yet. I wanted to push the first album and tour it because that's where most of our buzz came from, and that was when, as the first album started getting a lot of buzz, Joey had just got onto Rock of Ages, so
I
that
remember.
that a little bit kind of like that opened up a lot of doors, but that closed a lot of doors because he was stuck to his contract. You know what I'm
Fucking
saying?
busy, yeah.
Yeah, and he could not do a lot of things like contractually.
That's when I was around the most because
Yeah.
that's when I moved to the city
Mhm.
from Jersey when I was in Manhattan for like a few years.
Yeah. But we
I
had
think Joey of everybody is the one of all you, all the elves dudes. I think I spent the most time with him
definitely, yeah, because
uh,
he was always in the
DJ
city and he
and
was always
Blackie,
mingling. Yeah, he was always hanging out with Blackie, and I
and
think
obviously
the
Arya
guys,
and shit too.
yeah, Arya, the guys from Mother, and right, they were hanging out a lot at that time
Yeah,
too.
same all those crews, and basically all the bands that played like all the Tim 37 shows and shit. And
Yeah, and
yeah,
and she said fire. What
yeah,
Joshua,
Hawks
yeah,
and
Hawks.
Peter. I lived with Peter in the beginning of that,
Hmm.
and then I lived with him out here too,
Yeah,
for a while. And yeah, I
always
actually just
really
talked to
cool
Hawks like
dudes.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, cool
I
dudes.
love those motherfuckers.
And
Hawks is still one of the sweetest human beings I've ever
yeah,
met in my entire life.
yeah. I've it's funny because I've always I was always I was vocally a big fan of theirs. I thought they were really, really good. I really liked their music.
Agreed.
And I
Agreed.
thought they were really cool guys. And they're also guys that I didn't get to hang out with much, though.
Yeah.
So that was the thing. Like I remember, oh shit, I can't remember. What was their bass player that left?
Chris Moss.
Chris Moss. There you go.
Fucking love Chris, man.
Yeah, he was fucking. We used to have a lot of fun drinking together after the
Oh
shows.
yeah,
Yeah,
we toured with them too.
yeah.
One of the longest tour I've been on, we were out for like 2 3 weeks or something
Mm-hmm.
because we'd always do spurts. So you go off for like a weekend or a week or whatever. But that was a proper little tour we did with them and another lost year.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember them, my buddy Clinton and them. But
Yeah.
uh, I fucking love Moss, dude. And that was when they had I can't remember if Stina was in the band at the time. I think she was.
I want to think
But
so as well.
yeah, when she
Yeah.
said fire, because it was
Yep.
I think was it Ian who was in when they were in August Infinity?
August Infinity was Ian, yeah, and then they
Yeah, and
switched.
then they
Yep.
shifted
Hmm.
and did the whole thing. Actually, that's how I don't know if you ever heard any of the stuff we did under Crash the Night, but that was basically she said fire stuff with me
Oh
slapped
yeah,
onto it.
that's
Yeah,
right. I
they
forgot.
still dude, they still have like I'm totally calling them out, but they still
Mm.
have like 2 or 3 tracks they did at the time with Drew yeah, Drew. Fuck, what's his name? Wizard Bold, I think is his
Hmm.
handle. But he's a producer, and they did like two or three or four songs with him, some shit, a little EP. And they have like, I think the only one that came out of it was the track we did with together, the song Crash. Um, and the rest of it, dude, it was so fucking good.
Yeah,
It was the
I'm sure
best
it
stuff
was.
they had done. They still have a bunch of shit. It just never saw the light of day. And I'm like, how often does that happen? Because I know I have
Hmm.
a metric fuck ton of unreleased music. Just I don't know. It's just fucking sitting there for one reason or another. Something just didn't click and shit didn't come out. But
Yeah,
they did some. Oh, they were great. And I of all of us at one point I thought they were gonna take that next step. They got
yeah,
so
because they
good. They
were.
got so fucking close.
Yeah, and they were and I remember because when they were doing their tour, like that was the
They were
thing,
not.
like we were getting a lot of like they did that tour. I really thought that they did it with the used, right,
Yep.
when they were, yeah. So what sucks is I remember also for us, we had right before we stopped playing, actually. Like, so first we had a lot of buzz up on the first album, right? And like I said, we were getting
Mhm.
on all these radio stations, we were doing all this stuff. We played this big festival out in Cali, and I was like, all right, this is when what I wanted to do the tour like they were doing. I was like, this is what we need to do. We need to push this around the country. We were getting on
Yeah.
all these random radio stations, all this shit. I was like, we're getting tons of buzzes.
You
But
got to get out of your fucking hole where your local scene is.
so what happened was, though, at that time the guys all wanted to work on new material. You know how that goes.
Mhm.
I was outvoted at that time. But then when we wrote the second album, we wrote it, recorded it, we played it. We honestly didn't play the second album that much. We only had a handful of shows. Then my lead guitarist Lou Larocco, who I used to like co-write everything with, that guy is a fucking like, I love his writing style. He's like a genius in a way. Like he's got his own unique spin on his sound, and I just always loved working with him.
Yeah.
Um, but he left because he moved out. Now he's in Nashville and he's doing like audio recording, and he works does all this
That's
stuff.
the new.
Yeah.
That's the new music spot.
So that's what he was chasing. He went back to school, and then he left the band. He went to Florida, then he went over to, I think, Utah, and then Iowa, and then Nashville. So when he left, we got this replacement
Fucking
who,
Utah.
yeah, a lot. He said there was a lot of audio work in Utah, so he was doing a lot of stuff out there. He was doing
Huh.
audio for like movies and television shows out there.
Hmm.
And then
Interesting.
yeah, and then we got this guy Eric to replace him, who was a fucking. This guy is a genius, and he like, I can like when it comes to technical skill on a guitar, I can't shine this guy's fucking shoes. Like, bro, this guy is so good. So I was like, all right, he just like he was one of those don't get me wrong, our songs weren't rocket science, but Lou had some really weird like riffs and stuff, and he used a lot of
Yeah.
awkward pedals and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this guy heard it in his machine brain. He was like, he would have to hear something like once or twice, and he could fucking sit. He played it. He was like a
Yeah.
robot.
Some motherfuckers are just like that.
Yeah,
I have never since the day I started making music been that guy.
yeah.
It just doesn't happen. I have to do something a billion times
I'm
to
like fucking
even
Naruto,
replicate
man.
rock band.
I was Naruto. I was the Naruto of the
Hey,
music world, man.
here we go. Anime talk. Let's
Uh,
go.
but
Knucklehead Ninja right
that's
here.
it. That's how I was. I was
Just
the fucking
fucking Frito.
Naruto,
Just
and it's just that dude was
repetition,
Sasuke. He had the fucking Sharingan and everything. He just had to
Straight
watch,
the fuck up, dude.
bro. Just
Straight the fuck up.
sit.
It feels like they're cheating.
Yeah, yeah. Seriously, he was born with the
Yeah.
fucking cheat code.
Straight up.
So long story short, I'm gonna cut this music section down real quick. So when we were playing, we actually got offered to um do one leg of the tour with Buck Cherry, and we were supposed to be
Oh
their
yeah,
direct
yeah, yeah.
support. And then as we got that offer, the homeboy who took that position had to leave. He quit. He had things going on in his real life, and then it was like we didn't have the time to replace him in order to make it for that.
Life got in the way.
That's just how it goes. So yeah, so
I get it.
we had a few moments, but it is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
We had some amazing times, some good stuff, but yeah, you know, and I got to meet people like you through the scene and play, and
Oh man, I'm sorry.
yeah.
My bad.
Hey, listen, you know, you look at the guys that I played with, and I'm sure the guy like we all have our own stories, you know. So
Fuck, dude. I gotta write a couple of books, maybe make a
yeah.
couple movies off of it. Um, yeah, I even did. Speaking of movies and all this shit too, like even Peter, we were just talking about, like he scored the whole movie with me.
Oh,
I
nice.
mean, he scored it, and then I just, I gave him some direction and provided some of the tracks from like my own albums, and then he did all the music, man. He absolutely crushed it. We kind of started a band off of that very briefly and did one show out here in Hollywood too called Roadstar. But the
Mhm.
whole soundtrack's fucking, yeah, it's just all through that whole scene. Like that was just shit that continued on through. It's
Mhm.
a good, really good times. When I was living in New York, especially right after Scarlett Carson, even when I was doing my solo stuff, some of the best years of my life. Just had a really amazing time and met a lot of really good fucking people, and I just had fun. And I don't know, something about that time just felt like everyone felt like we were so close to that thing we had all been working towards.
Mhm.
And most of us got, maybe in one way or another, some of it, not as really. I can't really think of anybody who got really full on got
Yep.
the brass ring, so to speak.
Yeah.
But it's just at the time, I just remember it was like it was in the air. Fucking
Mhm.
Joey was doing Rock Pages, guys were touring with the Used. I went out and did shit with like I did like Rockapalooza and a gig with Machine Gun Kelly, played with
Oh, I
Redman,
remember.
all this stuff. It was all in like a fucking span of a year, and this is
Mhm.
after I thought like, well, I'm fucked. The band, I'm out the
Mhm.
band and all that shit. But it was working. Everything was working. Everything
Yep.
was clicking and going and going. And it's a good time. It's a good time. Plus, it was in New York, and when before the venues started shutting down and shit,
Mhm.
fucking Sullivan Hall and all those spots, like it was fun. It was good times.
Yeah. But yeah, so you see, like I always envied guys like you who were frontmen, though. Like even though I like I know a lot of frontmen that don't really play or like write music. Obviously, you do a lot of everything. Like you said, you do in Pro Tools, you like, but like I always envied frontmen because as even though I like host this show and I do a lot of talking, I don't have this. I like to say my voice is angelic, but it's not a singer's voice. You know what I'm saying? It's
Neither
a
was mine when I started, man.
yeah.
I envy you motherfuckers. You don't have to worry about your voice. You get shit hammered all week, smoke cigars, do the fuck you want, scream at people, and then go
Yeah.
up on stage like, man, whatever.
But the problem is, then I gotta rely on like the only way I get shit done is relying on a front man, and most front men
Fair.
are like
Shitty.
flighty, very flighty,
Terrible human beings.
very flighty,
No, yeah, they are. I've found. I think most. It's just such a crapshoot with musicians in general. You either
Yeah,
get people who get it or don't.
yeah, yeah,
You either fucking get it or you don't, and then it's up to you and what your tolerance level is for dealing with someone who maybe
yep,
has the raw talent but doesn't fucking get it. I didn't really have a whole lot of patience for shit like that. So it was always like, if you didn't get it, I didn't fuck with you. I didn't care how good you were.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because it's just, at the end of the day, like, if I want this to work, I have to work with your ass forever. So
Yeah.
you better be easy to work with, or at least it has to be enjoyable. It's like half the fucking point. Otherwise, I'll be a lawyer or some shit, like do something else to make me a whole lot more
Yeah,
money.
yeah, that's you got a point. The amount
Yeah.
of years. Listen, the amount of years I spent playing in bands and trying to do all that stuff. I should have been an entertainment lawyer, but I could have been,
Dude,
or like a
dude.
fucking like I don't know, a guitar doctor or some shit.
It's literally anything that pays better.
Yeah.
Fucking being a musician is like you don't get paid, you
Hmm.
hemorrhage money.
Yeah, that's true.
You hemorrhage money until you get to like this fucking 2% thing, where then you can kind of pay your bills, and then if you're in
Hmm.
the 0.01%, you're loaded, and that's
Yep.
like
Yep.
there's like very little in between,
Yeah,
unless
that's
you're
true.
licensing shit, you know what I
Yep.
mean, or you live on the road.
Yep.
That's fucking it, and that's not for me either. Like,
Yeah.
I liked playing shows, I like touring in bursts, but it as we got older, the obviously all the revenue elsewhere off the road dried up. So
Yes.
it's like your options were basically live on tour to make your living, or be prepared to not make a lot of money
Yeah.
doing music.
Hmm.
Unless you can, like I said, licensing. I still think that's the golden goose right there, man.
Yep.
Good licensing deals. You don't do fuck all. Just
Yeah.
watch a Kia commercial with your song playing in the background and collect that check. You know what I mean? That's the best gig ever.
Yeah. That's.
That's like the Heavy. You ever hear them?
Hmm. Hmm.
I fucking love that band. And those dudes are like the licensing kings. Like, they
Yeah.
just find their shit in the background and everything. I've never seen a tour poster for the Heavy in my life.
You want to hear something funny? I was having this conversation with a friend of mine the other day. I was like, POD, right,
Yeah.
bro? Here Comes the Boom is still used in movies.
And
That fu-
probably at every football stadium around the country.
Bro, that fucking song. I can't. I'm like, how, like, and I'm not hating on it. I love. Listen,
That was great.
in the
I love
2000s, I
POD.
loved POD. They were one of my fucking go-to bands. I used to listen to them all the time.
Super fucking dope.
But what's crazy is like, all right, I'm gonna Google. Here Comes the Boom. When did it release date?
I was in 2003,
Let me see. 2001. So think about it.
2001.
You were close, so that was good.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
it
I was in high school, so
so
I knew it was the first couple of
the
years of high school.
song, bro, the song has been out for 20 years, and it's
And
still
still,
used in almost every fucking action movie that comes out. And I'm like,
and that's that fucking, what's that one, Saliva, Click Click Boom, too, the Saliva
yes,
one.
yes, that's another one. So
Another one
like,
that fucking, that just forever they're gonna make residuals off that
so
fucking.
when those dudes do a tour, like honestly, I like don't. I mean, I'm sure they need more than just it, but like they I feel like they make so much revenue probably just
Yeah.
off of their licensing. Yeah, they
Oh
get a
yeah,
lot of
but they're
licensing.
a legacy. They're one of those bands. It's like a legacy band too, like
Hmm.
Godsmack and shit. Like these
Yeah.
dudes that were, you know, monolithic at one point in time, so that entire generation, like, you're always gonna have fans. So for people who still occasionally go to shows,
Hmm.
that's their audience now. Like, none of these dudes. The only band I can think of from that time period, like, that comes to the forefront of my mind, that's genuinely still making new fans, that has been relevant since 2001 at the same level as Papa Roach.
True. Hmm.
Those guys, and they just never stop. And I could spend this entire episode talking, just saying nothing but good things about those dudes, especially Kobe and all.
Hmm.
They like he's been such a huge inspiration for me, and I have the good fortune of playing with him a bunch, and knowing him outside of the shows and stuff. Not
Hmm.
like best friends or anything, but we've had enough conversations where I'm like, you're just a good human.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And I know he's had his shit, but like, he's just a
We
good
who
human.
has it? Let's be real. Like,
Seriously. So, and he's just a good dude, and he left made a great impression on me early days. And it's awesome to see them. They just have not fucking stopped,
mhm.
and they're doing it smart too. Like, they're popping up with all these TikTok artists and shit now, like Jarris Johnson, and that new track they just did, Swerve, and then they did that like remix song, or that other collab. Like, they're just
They're always on the
hustling,
trend. They're
on with the
like,
new shit, know
yep,
exactly what's going
always,
on.
always.
Smart,
That's
man.
one
It's
thing.
just
It's
fucking
very
smart.
smart. They always know. They always know the trend. They always know, like, where the next move is. Even when he released that song, like, what's funny? Obviously, the Who, right? HU, the Mongolian
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
folklore metal band.
yeah.
So I was
They
getting
did that one feature on there that
yeah.
record.
So what's funny is I was getting into like I went through this phase because I'm into like Vikings and shit, and I was listening to all like Viking metal and fucking pirate metal and
No shit.
Mongolian folklore metal and all. I was listening to all
Good.
this shit in like my fucking time. I was listening to like power metal. There was this dwarven power metal band, and they made a power metal version of Diggy Hole, which is like I think a Minecraft meme, and
That's
yeah,
I don't know what
I didn't know until I heard the song, and I'm like, bro, these guys come on stage looking like a fucking D&D campaign, and I love it, you know.
that's awesome.
But like I went through this weird period where I just listened to all that type of like
I,
crazy
my old
metal.
drummer was it's all like quest metal, what he calls
Yeah,
it, and it's all it is. Like it's just, you're gonna go on a quest.
that's
Like
it.
Dragon Force is I guess the only popular band out of
Yeah.
most of them that kind of broke into the zeitgeist because of Guitar Hero. But yeah, like that type of shit. And it's the technicality of those musicians too is so
Oh, it's
underrated.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
But
nuts. Everything sounds like fucking Ying V, like
so
all of it.
so I was listening to all those bands, and then like the Who started picking up a lot of fucking steam, and that was like,
Yeah,
and I was like, I found them down a rabbit hole on YouTube because like you go on YouTube rabbit holes and you just fucking spiral and you just keep watching one thing to another and keep recommending and you go.
absolutely.
So yeah, and then I was listening to them for quite some
Before you know
time.
it, you think the vaccine's giving you like 5G and you magnetizing you and all.
I
Yeah,
wish my phone is only 4G. If I had 5G, I'd just fucking plug right into my armpits and shit.
we'd be streaming right off
Yep.
your fucking phone. Let's go.
I got the fucking Razer. I'm one of the only people I know with the Razer 2 gaming phone, and
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I fucking love. Razer, the gaming company that makes all the fucking peripherals.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they made two gaming phones, and
I
this
had no idea. I
yeah.
did just see that fucking. I know we're totally going off course, but I just saw an ad like yesterday for this crazy fucking magnetized handle contraption that turns your. It's like I've seen controllers for phones, but I've never seen one that looked like it actually did the fucking job. Like
Oh,
it looks like
Razer
it
makes
turned.
one. It looks like the Joy Cons for the Switch.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was exactly what I was gonna say. It
Yeah.
turns your fucking iPhone into a Switch
Yep.
basically, and I was like, that's pretty cool.
And that's made from Razer.
Getting there.
So yeah, I went on a total transit. So I was watching like I'm listening to like the Who, and then lo and behold, like a little while later, I see fucking Papa Roach with them, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, but I think it was more of Papa, like I think it was more of Jacoby, maybe, well, maybe the record label saying, give this guy like a chance because they were coming
Yeah.
up in the scene, and I think that Papa Roach extending that, or Jacoby still extending that olive branch.
Kobe's smart, man. Like he does. I've been saying this for fucking years, and I've been trying to do more of it, but I don't have I don't have the clout that
Yeah,
Kobe did. I
sure.
don't have any. No one like I'd have to pay people to
Yeah.
do a song with me. But I've been saying this for fucking years. I go, the way this is gonna go. I call this a fuck, dude. I don't know, like 10 years ago, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
this is gonna rock is gonna start doing what hip hop does, and it's gonna be features and collaborations, features and collaborations. And as the last few years has been progressing, like even the Scarlet song, like my name's on it.
Mm-hmm.
I made sure like this is Santino and Misfit on there for that last single we did too, because I'm like, do you need to start just I can just be on everything,
Yep.
you know? And Kobe's been on, he's been doing that forever. He did a collaboration with the Black Eyed Peas back in like after Last Resort and shit came out. Most people know, called Anxiety, and it was amazing. It was like this
I
hip hop
wasn't. I
rock
didn't even know of
mashup
it.
fucking
Yeah.
thing. Is no, I mean I have no idea. It's like just never popped, but song was fucking awesome. And he's been
Yeah.
doing that forever, and just changing and switching and changing and switching and adapting and working with new people and new artists. And they, even like a couple records ago, they had MGK on there before he blew up and shit. So I've been following Kelly for years, and I'm like, just yeah, Kobe's just hooked in. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's him. I'm assuming it's him specifically, but if it's not him, whoever the fuck's making these calls, like with Jarris Johnson too. That's another one. That was such a good fucking call to refresh Last Resort like that, and then do
Mm-hmm.
the song and the video with the kid. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, breathe new life into one of the fucking biggest singles of the early noughts. Like, well done.
You know, speaking of like branching out, did you ever think of, because I know I've tried without without even the machine I was knowing, when we were writing music together, I would always submit it to like gaming companies, trying to get a license, like get one of our
Sure.
songs picked up in a game. Did you ever think of or did you ever try to like get onto a game soundtrack or?
A couple times in the past, and then we made it onto a couple of small things. I made it into a Burning Angel porn video once a while back because
Nice.
they're from Jersey.
Hmm.
And then we made it into like some Brock Lesnar documentary or some shit. And I was about to couldn't get a whole lot of licensing deals. That one song I did with Melissa Gorga, the housewife, was on a bunch of shit in the background, like Watch What Happens Live and all this stuff with Andy Cohen and some other stuff. But that's about it. I do right now, though. I am working on a new song that I specifically intend to push to uh to a sound thing. I didn't think of it until like a couple days after I wrote it, and I was like, "Yo, I have a buddy who I have a few friends who work in the gaming industry out here, and
Hmm.
um I'm not gonna say anything just in case it happens, but I don't want to jinx it. But
Yeah, yeah,
I was like, oh, I should totally send it to him and be like, hey, so this is perfect for this thing you work on,
yeah.
and it is in gaming. Yeah, I'd love to. I'm big into VR and shit. So like I've been playing Pistol Whip and Beat Saber,
Hmm.
and I want to send some shit to them. I'll be like, yo, for free. Like
Yeah.
I'm just a fan of the platform. I want to see VR grow more. And I'd love to just be a part of that. That just
Oh, it's definitely gonna grow more. And one of the things, actually, I was just reading an article that Sony's PSVR 2 headset, which is in development,
yeah. The
the
one they said they weren't gonna do too,
yeah,
right? I think
yeah, because it was all under wraps. And like I saw,
the Quest changed the game during the pandemic. That's what happened.
but also the blueprints for their PSVR 2 looks fucking ridiculous. I mean, the controller alone, it just looks like, I mean, everything about it looks like pretty innovative. But what
Yeah.
they said is they want to get away from VR type games, because they said that what they were saying is that the VR games feel very like this. They're set up like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're in a box, and these are VR games. And VR games feel like VR games, and they just want to make AAA games with VR like integration in them. Something more like Resident Evil 7, how Resident Evil 7 you could use a VR headset and play that game
If
along with
if
it.
they can do it right,
Yeah,
then I'm all for whatever the fuck gets quality content
true.
pushed to the platform because
Yeah.
like I'm a PC VR guy right
Yeah.
now, so I have a Valve Index, and it's nice to see that it's capable of things like I don't know if you've played Half-Life Alex.
I
Um,
did not. I wanted to, but I did not
it's
get around to it.
fucking insane. I
Yeah.
mean, it's still I don't think I can't think of anything that's been on that level. That's like the peak for me. That's been the
Mhm.
pinnacle of VR of what it could be.
Mhm.
But it was designed with VR in mind, and there's a lot of choices that had to be made that were VR specific. And
Mhm.
I don't know, I don't know the inner workings of how a AAA game designed for console, and then porting it for VR. Or you'd have to do a lot of things in the early stages to make sure that the VR version of it didn't feel like what they did with like Skyrim and shit, where that you just need all these adjustments and mods and stuff to make it feel natural. It's just, I mean, little things like even just like they accounted for like your height adjustments. There's no crowbar in a Half-Life game because the melee combat in it didn't feel natural, and a bunch of other crap. Like it was getting stuck on things and just little things you wouldn't know if it wasn't VR specific. Um, and there's tons of little details in Half-Life Alex, and the graphics. Fuck me, dude. It's just they're so good. The game is so good. It gets a little repetitive, but it's just there's nothing else like it. The second most like into a VR game I've gotten that wasn't like a rhythm game or a shooter or some stuff was The Forest. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's an older one, and it is
It's
a console game
I've
ported.
I've had friends telling me about the forest. So the thing is, I know it's a survival game, and not. I have really
I'm not.
bad, bro. I have really bad experiences. I'm gonna go into
I've
after.
never played a survival game. I don't like survival games. I have no desired to play it. It was just a buddy of mine was like he can play on PC, I can play in VR, and it was like a co-op thing, and all the reviews were really good on Steam. That was
Mhm.
literally the only reason I tried it. It's fucking nuts. That game is batshit crazy. Whoever came up with that thing is a fucking sadist. It's,
I mean, I
it's
heard good things
insane.
about it because I have a friend who also was like trying to convince me to play it. I'll tell you
What
real
are your
quick.
games?
So
Oh, sorry.
yeah, I'm gonna tell you why I'm scarred with survival games. So a friend of mine was like, "Hey, you got to buy this game Ark. Have you played Ark?"
I
Or
haven't.
so he's like, "Hey, this game is crazy. You got to play it." And I'm like, "I'm not really into games like Rust and shit like that. It's just not my thing."
Sure.
So it was a good friend of mine. He's like, "Oh, come on, it's gonna be great. Let's play together." I was like, "All right, no problem, whatever." I'm always looking to any excuse to buy a game. Like I'll buy any fucking game. I have my collection is retarded, and excuse, I can't use that word. It's alive. But my collection is silly. So like I have this collection, and half the games if you look, I probably played like I don't know a couple minutes or like a couple hours, and then I have games I have hundreds of hours on.
Sure.
Um. So anyway, I was like, all right, yeah, cool, all right, whatever, we'll play together. So I pick up Ark and I'll never forget. First go through, he's still trying to explain it to me. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna build a character. He's gonna have nothing but strength. I made him the shortest stature you could make. I mean, I made this guy
Like Odd Job from
bro.
fucking GoldenEye.
He was a little box. I made him as short and as wide as you can make him, and I called him Broku. Um,
Broku.
yeah, because I was like, motherfucker's just gonna go up and just that's it. He was my Goku. That was my Broku. So I made him, and I started the game out. You start out on a beach, right? So I load into the map, and I'm on a beach, and I'm like, all right, this looks cool. And all of a sudden, I'm looking around, and I see three guys standing on the beach looking at me, and I'm like, all right. Some guy walks up to me. He just fucking clubs me over the head with a club, and like this, and I'm like, and my character gets knocked to the ground. I see my screen is all fucking like fuzzy, and then he dragged me out to the water, and I was knocked out. But when you get knocked out in the game, you can still see what's going on. He literally dragged me by my legs into the water, and he forces me to drown. Because
What the
like,
fuck?
so I'm like,
That's how the game started.
that's how the game started. I was already getting trolled by people playing on the server, and I literally just
So it
spent
was. So it was. Oh, so it wasn't like an NPC. It was a
no
fucking
some
other
fucking dude
actual
trolling
person.
me. Yeah, some dude trolling me. So I'm like, I just spent $40, and this is how I'm gonna start the game out. Okay, great. So
That's
then
people are fucked up.
I go, okay, respawn, like or whatever. You gotta respawn, right?
Yeah.
I'm on a beach again. Homeboy's friend comes by, he's flying a pterodactyl. I'm like, fuck it, he's flying a dinosaur. I'm like, shit, there's
Yeah.
dinosaurs in this game. Homeboy swoops down on the beach, picks me up with the pterodactyl's feet, brings me into the sky, and drops me into the water, and I die. This went on for about 45 minutes.
Shut the
I
fuck up.
swear to God, I literally could not get off the fucking beach. And I was like, bro,
That's maddening.
I was like, I can't play this game. I was done.
That's
He's like,
maddening.
oh, I'll come get you, man. Tell me where. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. I'm like, I'm getting trolled for like 45 minutes of my
That's
life. I'm not
fucking
gonna get back.
the forest. It doesn't have other people unless you play in a multiplayer group, and then it's only up to 8 or something. It's not
All
like
right,
on a public server. So,
good.
and
So
the other thing too, just to I like I my friends play on PC. Or I think they're on PC for both. I don't think I'd ever play the game unless it was in VR.
gotcha. Okay,
It's just one of those things. Like it's cool because of that experience. Um, and it's fucking it's like a freaky fucking game. Like you're
that's the one where you like could like trip on like some mushrooms or some fucking crazy shit. Is that
apparently you
the?
can. I haven't done that yet, but
Yeah,
you can, I guess, and you can drink and shit in it too. But there's the short version is like the game. There's no tutorial. There's no intro. There's no fucking nothing. It's just like the screen to like start the game and join a multiplayer group and like set up settings. And then you go into the game, and as soon as it loads, you're on like a fucking plane. I'm not ruining anything. This is literally the opening scene. You're on like a passenger plane, like a full on airline. I can't think of the fucking word. Um, but yeah, you're on that, and then like the fucking front half of it just breaks off, and if you're in VR, it's pretty jarring, and then you crash, you wake up, and there's this dude, looks mostly butt ass naked, bald dude, just covered in blood, and there's a small child in the ground, I guess, who's your son named Timmy, which is fucking hilarious because it's
uh-huh.
like the most I don't know, like, oh, little Timmy.
Yep,
It's the most
exactly.
obvious fucking name for that character. But this dude like just picks him up and just carries him away, and you have to like figure out what to do, and then from there you just have to start like picking up scraps of shit and like medication, and there's an axe and like one of those little emergency axes and food, and start collecting stuff, and you chopping down trees and collecting sticks and berries and killing
Chopping
animals and
trees.
getting food and all that type of shit. And I was like, all right, this is interesting. You can like build stuff out of the trees. Like you can literally build like a full ass compound if you want to, and traps and cages and stuff to hold things. And you can combine different things to build other things. Like if you find cloth, you can make cloth and rope into a bow and arrow. And if you find sticks and feathers, you can make the arrows and whatever.
Mhm.
So there's all this stuff, and I'm like, all right, this is cool, and playing it for a bit. And then like the first night or two in the game, I started realize I think it was pretty early on, like pretty quick through the game. You realize, oh, you're not alone on this island. It was just me and my buddy, and there's like fucking like cannibal mutants on the fucking island that
Damn.
chase you and shit, just show up out of nowhere. Fucking topless, weird, like bald women, with fucking titties flopping around, running at you, while this other dude covered in like human body parts and shit's like trying to club you with a skull. And in VR, it's like you're running around in the dark with nothing but a Zippo and a fucking like a little axe with teeth on it. You can
Yeah.
like glue teeth to it. It's so fucking weird, but it's one of those things. You're like, all right, no, this is this like I want to see if I can actually make this
Yeah.
work and build this shit and all. And you're doing it with a friend, so it's fun. But game is fucking weird, man. Game is weird. It's creepy, but it's fun. But it's so fucked up. It's just such a
Yeah.
strange game. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's as far as VR goes though, it's been one of the more. For some reason, I keep playing it more and more. I
Uh,
don't know why.
it's because it's funny. It's those unique experiences sometimes. Like
Yeah, yeah.
if a game has a unique enough, if it's a unique experience and it has a decent enough loop, you know what I'm saying? Like to
It's a
just
good challenge,
yeah, that
Yeah, and
that's
there's a
what
lot. You have to like find all the passengers and collect shit, and there's all these little like the peninsula that you're on is fucking huge, and then there's this entire cave system under it, which is fucking obviously it's almost pitch black most of the time, and you just fucking trying to find your way around, and that's where all the like mutants hang out. And there's like giant ones,
Mhm.
like huge ones, just like they just do these weird spin things. They got like five fucking limbs whipping at you. It's weird. Game is weird as shit, but I feel like to be a gamer, you have to have like a good chunk of like masochistic tendencies,
Oh,
because it's just,
definitely.
especially when you're learning how to play like a shooter or something. Because I'm mostly an FPS guy,
Yeah.
and if you start playing like I could play Overwatch, or I used to play Rainbow Six a lot. Like
Mhm.
you need to be able to just constantly get frustrated and
Oh
be
yeah.
irritated by a game to get good at it.
Hell's
You
yeah.
know?
I'm a competitive gamer myself. I always play competitive games, so I know like for people that watch my stream, half the time I think I'm dropping f bombs, I'm cursing everybody, and
Oh
you know
fuck.
everybody's using a lag switch except me. Like. But actually, that's a good question. I was going to ask you, what is your favorite genre of gaming? But is FPS your favorite?
FPS, yeah.
Yeah.
Not even a contest really. Most of the games I've played my entire life. I mean, it started with GoldenEye and it just never stopped, and in Perfect Dark, and I've played like fighters and shit. I've done a couple of RPGs, never really got into them. I am kind of playing Genshin Impact right now,
Yeah.
the anime based
Yeah.
RPG. I wish it had more of like a world server type thing with other people and all, like some social element to it.
Yeah. The multiplayer, that's weird to link up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think being stuck inside so much for the last like couple of years, I've been looking for more like I do like VR chat and stuff like that, which is another weird fucking game, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, mostly FPS. The my main game of the last 4 years has been Overwatch.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and
was
then
heavy into that
and then
for a
Call of
long time
Duty.
too.
I did
Um.
fall back into Call of Duty the last couple of years.
Yeah. So I played though. I was always I play every Call of Duty. I play them a good amount. But I was always a Battlefield guy. Like I
I never,
love,
I was the
bro.
other way around. I haven't tried it. I've heard nothing but good things. That's the one where you can like blow up buildings and shit with
Everything.
people in them
Yep.
and all, right? Yeah, I've heard the new one is supposed to be really good, and
We'll
my
see.
buddy who I
I'm
says
skeptical. I get burned on every new game that comes out. But like,
there.
so like what's funny is when I used to play I played the first obviously called the Call of Duties when they were just single player campaigns in World War II, and then
Yeah,
Battlefield was like the OG,
old
like
school zombies is where the
yeah,
fuck it was at.
yeah, yeah. And like Battlefield, there was the first, but like I used to play. I'm gonna date myself right here. I'm gonna like you just tell people how old I am. I used to go in Brooklyn down on 86th Street in Bensonhurst, and I used to go down. There was an internet cafe near Bay Parkway, under the L train, which is now the
Fucking
D
play
train.
Counter Strike at LAN parties.
Yeah, there was an internet cafe. We used to play Counter Strike. Yeah, so we used to play Counter
Love
Strike,
it.
Battlefield. It was Battlefield. mm, Which one was it? 1942. It was Battlefield 1942, which I think came out
OG.
after Battlefield 2.
Hmm.
And we used to play Warcraft 3 had just
You
dropped.
remember fucking Tribes?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Tribes
Tribes
was
was fun.
nuts.
Yeah, yeah, Tribes
With
was
all the
fun.
fucking mods and shit, where you're just shooting
hmm
like exploding discs and flying for
Yeah,
forever.
yeah. Bro, we used to go into this internet cafe and be like, when we would play Counter Strike, I started the thing was our team because I used to go to a bunch of friends, and we used to do we used to call ourselves the I team. Now
Nice.
this was before like there wasn't iPhones back then. This was the I team as in Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Gotcha.
And our handles when we used to play against people were Sam Champion, Al Roker, fucking. We had all of like our handles were all of the Channel
The
7,
fucking
yeah, yeah,
anchors.
all the anchors, yep.
That's
And this is way
amazing.
before Anchorman came out too,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
funny.
That's
So
funny.
be like, you've been killed by Sam Champion, you've been killed by
That's
Al Roker,
amazing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that was shit, the I
That's
team.
funny, dude.
But
I
yeah,
haven't. Remember fucking internet cafes
they
and
were the
place like
best, bro,
those
the
network
best.
spots where you do the big ass LAN parties and shit. I
It's
haven't done that in forever.
it's funny because like
That was the best part too, because it was like a social element. That's what I was saying
yes,
before. It's like I miss that. Everything feels so fucking toxic and
yeah.
trolly now, you know?
So when I speak to younger people, right now, this is the thing, and when I try to explain, I'm like, internet toxicity. It's easy to fall into the toxicity trap, right? Now here's the thing, especially in gaming, it's easy for the younger generation to be toxic. It's easier for me to be toxic too. I'm gonna blame it on the younger generation because like
We kind of invented it, to be fair.
yeah, but it's like here's the thing though. When you went like I used to go to arcades when I was younger because that's all that was around. There weren't internet. There was no such thing as the internet when I was playing games when I was going to play Street Fighter
No, old
2.
school PlayStation
Yeah,
N64. You had like
yeah,
AOL dial up. You
yep,
weren't fucking maybe
yep,
StarCraft.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, even then I used to play Warcraft 2
Yeah, I
with a
used to play.
friend of
I
mine.
was a huge StarCraft nerd back in the day, and then like old Rainbow Six, like
Yep,
the
the
original
old
base.
BattleNet. You had to dial in. You had to use your
I had
landline and
yeah,
fucking
dial up.
dial in.
Yeah,
Yeah, you had to dial up. You had to dial
someone
up to play.
fucking someone picks up while I'm in the middle of trying to build all these goddamn carriers. You better put that phone down. God damn it, I'm about to murk
Yeah,
this dude.
yeah.
My
So
Dragoon army. We ain't
yeah,
fucking around.
what's funny is though, like when I would play in like the arcades, yeah, like everybody talks smack, but the thing was you were shoulder to
Yeah.
shoulder. So if I was like when someone was being cheap or someone was talking shit on that fucking Street Fighter machine, and your quarter was next, if you talk too much shit, you had to back it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you about to
You
get Ryu'd in the actual face.
yes, and then like all of a sudden, like homeboys' friends are coming out of woodwork. Your friends are
Yo,
coming out
fuck
of
you, kid.
yeah, 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 exactly. Everybody. So like, you had that like you had to learn those social interactions and kind of like learn your
Absolutely.
place because unless you like could back it up in game and in person, but even then that's not really like this really toxic thing to say like I'm gonna fuck you up in game and then I'll fuck you up in real life. I mean, but there were people like that, but
I literally had someone today on some kid I've known for a long time through the band through Scarlet.
mm,
I posted some shit. I shared this video. There was a one of the heads of a hospital in um where was it, in Minnesota, I think. I can't remember what state she's in, but she did like a little press conference, like a 5 minute clip I saw, and there's like, it's a pretty dire situation. They're out of hospital beds, ERs are filling up, all this crap. And I'm just like, fuck, dude, then we should be, she's just imploring, like, please go get vaccinated and this, that. And I'm like, prioritize the vaccinated then. And I just posted the clip, and this dude came on, he's like, oh, well, you're fucking wrong about this, and this doesn't work, and this, and I'm just fucking had it. And I was like, listen, dumb fuck, like,
yeah,
yada, 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 yada. And he's like, say, call me a dumb fuck to my face. And I'm like,
yeah,
fucking stop. Like, such
yeah.
a, well, fucking say it to my face.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck out of here,
You're
dude.
like we probably live fucking like hundreds of miles away from each other.
Yeah, he's back in Jersey. I know him. Like, I know
Yeah,
him. I've known him for
yeah,
years. And I'm like, stop.
yeah.
You're afraid to go see the nurse at the Walgreens. Get the fuck out of here. Like, stop, stop. I'm
Yeah,
just like, it's just fucking like, that's where we go. Like
Yeah.
that's where we go and meet.
Yeah.
And back
Yeah.
in the
Of
day,
course.
back
Yeah.
in the day, it was like it wasn't say it to my face. You were face to face.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like
That's the
say
thing.
it
Yep.
again. That's what it
Yep.
was.
You're right.
Say it
Yep.
again.
Say it again. And then they
I
started with the
fucking
push.
dare you. I
I
fucking double
fucking
dog
dare.
dare you.
Yo, you're lucky I got my cousin's bar
Oh
mitzvah in
yeah.
15 minutes. Otherwise,
That's
otherwise I'll be coming after you.
what I'm saying, man. Call my boys.
Yeah. But
My
yeah,
fucking
so
boys.
so that's like keyboard warriors. That's a thing, and I think that's where a lot of toxic because people know like you know what are you gonna do? No one knows each other. It's all like a blanket to their face. But yeah, so like I
Especially
do.
when you're hiding behind a character and a
Yeah.
handle, you know.
Yeah, like I do miss like I do miss being in person. I miss those social elements. I miss arcades. I miss LAN parties. I miss internet cafes. I feel like I met so many good people and I had so many like some of my adult friends. The crazy part is like I've had lifelong friends, but some of my adult friends that I'm still friends with to this day, I met in that fucking internet cafe.
Dude,
And then
I have friends who I didn't know. I never met them in person for like the first 5-10 years of knowing them.
Mhm,
One of my good friends who lives in New York actually lives back in the city. I'm the first time I met him was at one of our shows at like the Knitting Factory or something,
mhm.
and I met him playing Rainbow Six on Xbox Live. And I had a couple of friends like that. It was just I feel like it was so much easier. I don't know why. It just was easier to like have a conversation with people on through like a gaming platform. Maybe because there weren't as many people and it was just mostly enthusiasts at the time.
Mhm.
So it wasn't just like every jerk off with a fucking internet connection, it wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't as prevalent. So I honestly don't know what changed or if it's just the culture shift or,
It's probably just a culture shift. Yeah, it's
yeah, because I
probably
can't say it's just because they're
no,
young. It's not
no,
just
no.
because they're younger.
Because there's
I
a
was
lot of
that age too. I didn't
and there's a
fucking
lot
know.
of like there's a lot of guys and like again you're talking about some friends that are toxic to you that you knew from girl like I have friends that are toxic in games too. I like we all have that one friend even when internet gaming first started we all had that friend if you were playing a game and they came over they grabbed the mic to be like I fucked your mother last night like
Oh yeah,
you
that's
know
that's
that
totally fair. That's
yeah like
totally
so
fair.
like you always had this
The childish bullshit. It just
yes
yeah, no. It's
yeah,
just it's just I feel like it just got like uh I don't know, ramped up to 11.
you know what it could be too it could be that it's so much easier to access
That's what I'm
like
saying. Every motherfucker with an internet connection now is jumping on, and like
yeah
some of these games are free now too.
and it's
So
become like gaming has become really popular like let's be
so yeah,
realistic
it's absolutely blown up since we were younger.
yeah I mean like I used to hide the fact that I
A
was a
hundred
gamer
years ago.
yeah like when I well, like especially being a musician like when all right, when I was in my metal band like there was a point when I was playing I had this band called the Primal Divide we were like metal like and it was in the metal scene you could be a gamer it was cool especially like most of my like honestly most of my fucking songs I'd write and like I even help with the lyrics sometimes was like based on D&D and fucking Warcraft and like all that type of like because fantasy it's like fantasy metal
Most musicians are nerds.
yeah but
You
when
kind
I
of have to be.
but other than that when I was in like my more pop friendly like rock bands yeah no you weren't talking about being into gaming because it's like it didn't go like didn't mesh that's like you're a fucking
Dude, you want to talk about something else like that that's become incredibly prevalent and that has absolutely exploded in popularity since I was a kid is fucking anime.
oh
That is
yeah
like in my wildest dreams never expected that. Like you'd see
same
like fucking pop stars and rappers and shit with like anime versions of themselves and all this like on their album art and wearing the
hmm
shirts and all. I'm like, what the fuck? Because I mean, I was watching anime when like I think the first thing I saw was Gal Force on the Sci-Fi Network, like a fucking in the late '90s, and I was obsessed. From that was before Toonami or any of that
yeah
shit.
oh
I
yeah
was obsessed immediately. My entire we were in the Florida Keys. We went on vacation. We're in because we used to live in Florida, so that was the fucking place you went. There's some little fucking shithole motel, and they're out in the pool. My whole family's out in the pool, dead middle of the day, and I'm like, fuck. No, I ain't going nowhere. I sat in this dingy, dark, crappy hotel room and watched the ever living shit out of that movie, and it forever changed me. It's like the greatest.
yeah
It was like finding certain music videos and bands for the first time. You're just like, what is this? What the fuck is this? And then you find out there's so much more of it. But it's become one of those things where it's like, you're getting simul dubs now and stuff too.
it's
You heard
crazy
about there's like clothing collaborations with like massive fashion brands doing. I think fucking what's his name? Michael B. Jordan did like a fucking I think it was a Naruto fashion
Wait, was it
collaboration with
Gucci?
was it
Was it?
Gucci?
All I remember is that the shirts, like a T-shirt, was like almost 2 grand. That's all I
Oh,
remember. And
some
I
dumb
was
shit.
like,
Yeah, I mean, it
yeah.
was probably obnoxiously
And I was
expensive,
like,
but
bro, I could go on a fucking like any like anime website and buy a T-shirt for
get
like
this
fucking 20
exact. Yeah,
bucks. Yeah,
probably a better print
yeah,
too.
better print. Hmm.
But I'm just saying, like, that's the level it's gone to. And now you're getting simuldubs from like Sony just bought, so Sony bought Funimation because this what at the time it was like what ADV I think was the only
Yeah,
company here doing his shit. And I heard I don't know if this is true, but I just saw a post about it
it's
like
true.
this morning. Sony bought Crunchyroll
Yep,
too.
they bought Crunchyroll and they're
They're merging
combining
it
it.
into like
Yep, of one. So the rumor that's so that they it's fact that they bought Crunchyroll, Sony. But the rumor now is that they're trying to build like a new like they're supposed to be making a new version of PlayStation Plus, the service, which will
huh.
include like anime streaming and supposedly the PS Now, which is a shitty service anyway, but the PS Now, they're trying to compete with Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass, which is really too good of a fucking deal. And I'm like I'm hating the fact that like this generation I went with the PS5 first and not the Xbox. I've always been a Sony guy anyway. Like with consoles, I've always
Always
owned
been an
everything.
Xbox guy.
I always buy everything, but like I've always been into like Sony's
I think we need
exclusives.
to fight now, right?
Yeah, probably.
Come see me in person. Say
Yeah,
it to
yeah.
my
Say it
face
to
that
my
you
face.
prefer
Say that you
Sony.
like Sony.
Say it to my
You
face.
fucking fanboy. What do you got? God of War, Halo, the Spartan Chief,
Halo,
head chief, fucking head chief, or whatever his name, kicks
whatever. You and your
Kratos'
Spider
ass.
Man and
Yeah.
Left for Dead.
So yeah, I mean, we should fight after because of that. But no, like I usually buy everything, right? But this generation, like I only went with the PS5 at first. I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be the right call, and I'm feeling really bad that I bought the PS5 first and not the Xbox Series X because they both like the consoles are so hard to come by. I refuse to buy a pirated version of anything. Like I got lucky and I pre-ordered day one, and I just happened to click the fucking Amazon link when it opened up. And the Gaming Gods, it's one of the few things they did. They allowed me to pre-order on day one, and I got my console on fucking the day it launched, and I was like,
Yeah.
woohoo! But like, I'm waiting for the Xbox now to be available again in like regular quantity because the Game Pass is just way too good. Anyway, so Sony's new
I get
service
that.
is supposed to be including Crunchyroll, Funimation, like together. This was a rumor. Anyway, this is what's leaked. But it would, yeah, Sony did buy Crunchyroll. They already had Funimation. They're combining them to one big anime supergroup. So like I think it's a good thing because it'll get into more people's hands. But then at the same rate, Sony has been known to like kind of
Fuck shit up.
censor. They've been into censorship. Like even there's some like weird
But they
like
already owned Funimation, and
yeah
Funimation's kind of the fucking big dog, right?
yeah. You know what's funny? Funimation, I guess it is, but I feel that Crunchyroll always had better exclusives, and I think they have a better like library of titles. Like they have
It's
less, but it's better. I feel like it's more
it depends.
quality.
Like this is where we're probably gonna be like, all right, let's actually fight. I prefer dubs, and
Hmm.
I always have. I'm not a big sub guy. I don't want to sit there and if I wanted to read, I'd get a fucking book. Like
Yeah, I love
I
subtitles.
like the voice
Love them.
acting was for a very long time. There's no arguing the voice acting in Japanese, original Japanese animations, I mean, in original Japanese language was superior, but that's not the case anymore.
I still
The
feel it's the case in most of the time because
I think English dubs have gotten so much better, especially for like top tier titles like fucking Attack on Titan and My Hero and all
mhm,
that. Like those are solid fucking dubs. And then at
I'm
that
sure they're
point, it's just
solid.
because you're used to it. That's the thing. Is like you just have this now. You grew up listening to it in Japanese, so like anything feels
You
off.
know what it is? I feel like all right, so like to me, and again, opinion is like assholes. We all have them, and they all stink. But like my opinion is that
My asshole smells like roses, sir. Sir.
I'll tell you one thing, not mine. I did a fucking 9 hour shift sitting in a computer chair that I came and I'm sitting in this chair right now. I need to after this. I gotta go fucking put some rose water in my butthole.
Yo, man, rose water is great.
Yeah, but so like I feel that even on the smaller titles, I just think that it has like I feel like the Japanese voice actors they just deliver like their delivery is always like
it's
It
fucking solid nine times
it's
out of 10. It's
yes, that's what it
rare
is.
to hear bad Japanese voice acting in
And
an
I feel
anime.
like they make things feel like much more emotional. And like there are times, and I'm not saying in all cases, because obviously, like let's be realistic, the AAA, the AAA titles, they're hiring AAA voice talent,
And
but
they're getting and Johnny Young Bosch is in all of them.
yeah, so like but like there have been so many countless times where like I'll watch something and it's like I feel like I can do the like even I hate to say for a AAA like title like Demon Slayer, I think that some of the voice actors are really not like they're not
I
hitting the
like
mark.
I like all of them except for the blonde kid.
Oh man, he's so
He's
annoying.
trying to do what they did in the Japanese voice
Yes,
acting, but it's obnoxious.
yeah.
Like it's like nails on a chalkboard.
Yes,
I'm embarrassed to have the volume loud enough where other people can hear me watching this.
I watched it one day and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like
Dude,
the
yeah, everyone else
Inosuke,
is fine in it, but
Inosuke's fine, and I feel that the main character, like he don't get me wrong, he's a very like white bread type character. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like very like bland, but like I
it
feel like,
doesn't require a lot of nuance. Yeah.
but I do feel like it's a little too bland.
I haven't seen the Japanese one to have a comparison, but it's never bothered me. And since I don't have an AB for it,
Mm,
I
yeah,
have no issue with it. It's only when something stands out negatively that I'm bothered.
yeah.
Like especially I found for a long time the biggest problem was like the rhythm and timing because of the sync and the
Hmm.
inflections were just always so fucking weird. Like you can't watch an old anime now without noticing it if you're watching a dub.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I watched what was it? Golden Boy. You
Hmm.
remember that?
Hmm.
I watched it for the first time in like I don't know, 15 fucking years just because I was on Crunchyroll and I'm watching. I was like, yo, this voice acting is terrible. The English
Yeah.
dub is so bad. But I watched it anyways. It's such a goofy fucking show. But yeah, some of the it's I don't get it. I don't notice that nine
Yeah.
times out of 10 now with a good title anyway. If the voice acting sucks 9 times out of 10, the anime itself sucks, so I don't care.
Well, I mean that's I mean, I would probably argue that because there are sometimes where actually there's probably sometimes where the anime sucks and the voice acting's really good and they can sell you on a fucking point. You know what I'm saying? But
I
I mean,
haven't seen that too many times, but maybe
yeah,
you're talking about the Japanese
yeah,
version.
that's probably what like I don't know. But I want to go back skip a second because you told me about your first anime
Gal Force.
introduction, your Gal Force. My first anime that I watched, it is funny because it's so open and it's such a big thing, and manga's even so huge right now. Selling, it's
Huge,
like out.
yeah.
It's in essence, it's outselling American comics.
I
But
never got into it, but
yeah,
I get it.
I literally own one manga physical.
Yeah, I don't think I own
I own
one.
one manga, and it's
I own a
Claymore.
hentai magazine that I bought in Tokyo.
Oh, those are all fucking.
Two of them.
Those are all on the phone. But yeah, so there's
Yeah, I got it because novelty thing. They were selling it fucking 7-Eleven.
wow, that's
I
crazy.
was like, this is awesome. I don't know if you've been to Tokyo, by the way. Well,
I
I could
wait,
do a whole
nah,
episode.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll
I
talk
would have.
about that. I didn't want to cut you off, but yeah.
Yeah, like my first anime, like anyway, you can get it anywhere. It's really popular. But when I first started watching anime, you could only watch it on VHS. Like,
Yeah.
and you had to know somebody who had it, or you had to go into these little stores and buy bootlegs. You had to like
They
buy
were
B
selling to the
sides.
bottom shelf at some FYEs
Yeah,
too, occasionally.
you couldn't like,
Yeah.
and so
Couldn't find it.
the first anime I ever saw was Ninja Scroll.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember watching that shit and it fucking like my mind was
Yeah.
blown. I was like, "What the fuck did I just watch?" And I was in like I don't know, maybe eighth grade or like seventh grade. I think it was seventh grade. Yeah, it was seventh
Yeah.
grade. So I watched Ninja Scroll, and then after that, I saw Guyver. Did you ever hear of Guyver?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah,
Guyver for fucking ever ago.
yeah.
I was in early days. I was in all the stuff, especially if it came dubbed. And like the bigger titles in Japan at the time mostly did a lot of
Hmm.
the ADV stuff. So my first all the stuff I had was DVDs. Like I've had a Netflix account since Netflix was like started when they were
Hmm.
just mailing DVDs because they mailed anime DVDs. That was the best place to get
Yep.
anime at the time. There was no you couldn't get 90% of this shit unless
Mm-mm.
you went out and bought it from some site that imported most of the stuff
Yep.
from Japan. So I had like I still have them somewhere. I think they're back in Jersey in storage, but I have a bunch of fucking My one of my all time favorites, even though it's not the greatest, it's just one of my all time favorites because of like it blew my mind when I was younger. Was a Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo
Mm-hmm.
2040.
Oh yeah, that was
Um,
actually pretty good. I like that.
it was
Yeah.
so fun. I
Yeah.
rewatched it again because it's on Funimation. I rewatched it again during the pandemic, and I was like, this is still pretty good. Like
Mm-hmm.
it shows its age a bit, but I enjoyed the shit out of it. It just did something for
And it's
me.
campy, and I love like that type of like I
Yeah,
like that type of shit.
I'm
You
a
know.
huge fan of like that genre of like a little bit of like humor, sci-fi element or a fantasy element, and then if you throw cyberpunk in the fucking mix, like I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
But there was that and like Cutie Honey, if you remember
Mm-hmm.
that, which was like basically borderline hentai.
And,
And I was
all
like
of it.
fucking I don't know like 12, just fucking anime chick just like blowing her fucking
Bro,
clothes off in a flash to turn
love
into a
it.
superhero, and I was like, this is great.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Listen,
Yeah.
I've watched some questionable stuff. That I've watched some stuff.
Oh, dude,
I still
you're not an
watch some
anime
shit.
fan if you haven't.
I still watch some questionable stuff that like I go
You're in
like
good
this.
company.
I go like this. Make sure is my wife sleeping? Is she in the other room?
Oh
All right,
yeah.
let me
Can she hear? Can she hear this?
no, and it's Japanese anyway. You know.
My just I have to say this because you mentioned the wife. Like my wife is so fucking cool. She actually got me like she got me a bunch of like the resin figures and shit, a couple of
Mhm.
like My Hero ones and all. But she got me like two or three like straight hentai ones. And I'm like
Nice.
three of them. And
I've
they're
seen
all
some
like
awesome
vulgar
ones.
as fuck.
Yes,
And I'm like, this
I've
is
seen
dope.
some really cool fucking.
I got I got a couple wild ones. I got this whole case next to me with
Yeah, you're
tons
gonna
of
have
shit
to.
in it.
You got to take a picture of the case and send
Yeah,
it to me.
yeah, yeah, I
I want to
will.
see it. I want to see which ones because I
Yeah.
probably know them. I just
Yeah.
don't have the space for it in my current, state.
I got this whole ass cabinet thing. It's mostly like shit from like, band-aids and the movie set
Yep.
and all that crap, but
Mm.
there's a few random like one fucking like bunny girl with a carrot in her pussy like
Nice.
right next to my bully memorabilia. you know? Fucking
that's
great.
that's awesome. Yeah. What's up, Doc? Gotta give the
Right?
all.
Fucking great. Ah
Holy
man,
shit.
gotta love Japanese
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. One of the there's a lot of there was a lot of bad press on. There was two animes that I actually like, and people in the chat might dislike me for saying this. Um, one was Interspecies Review, which
I don't think I've heard of that one.
it got pulled off Funimation because Twitter had an uproar with it, and it was like the like a lot of people were like saying that it had to be pulled from the fucking thing because it was. So I'll give you a synopsis of Interspecies Review. Interspecies Review was like it was kind of like an isekai, but it was picture like a fantasy world like Warcraft or
So
Dungeons and
hang on. So
Dragons.
every anime that's come out in the last 5 years.
Yes. So like you have this fantasy setting of like elves, knights, dwarves, all that shit, like
Sure.
humans and magic and all that shit. So what happens is you have this party of adventurers, right? And the first episode starts out and they're sitting around at the tavern having a drink and they're arguing who is the better species to have sex with.
I'm
And
in.
and then what happens is they start arguing and then they say they're going to start a magazine and they're going to start going around to all the different brothels in the world and
This is amazing.
they're going to review and give their taste. And the thing is they have a human, an angel, an elf. They have all these different people go and they have sex with all the different species and they give their
What
reviews.
fucking savant genius came up with this concept?
Well, funny enough, Twitter banned it.
It's got to be funny too, right?
So it's very fun. It's very funny.
It's gotta
It's
be
out
fucking
there.
funny.
It's crazy. Like they have sex with slime people, fucking
Awesome.
devils, humans, fucking
It's like
lizard people.
it's where
cat people.
Konosuba doesn't
Yes,
go.
yes. And it was really funny, and I liked it. And it was so anyway.
Oh, I
What's
gotta
funny
find
is,
it now.
yeah. What's funny is, you know what's crazy? I found it after they pulled it off Funimation. You can find it on Pornhub. That's where I found like they pulled it after episode 3, and I wanted to watch more episodes, and I winded up going down the rabbit hole, and I found episodes 4 and 5 on Pornhub.
Is it only so? Is it like just hentai?
It's
It's on
not.
Pornhub.
It's so funny. Funny enough, it's got sketchy moments, but it's not as bad as like.
It's hentai the way Kite is hentai.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't
There's
really.
like a fucking hour and a half and 7 minutes of it is like
It's
porn.
yeah, I mean, like it's like so the episodes are like what 20 minutes, and you'll get like what maybe a minute of porn. Like it's really
Yeah,
not.
so
Like
it's an actual show, which
yeah,
then it's just
yes,
it's mostly
like you
fun.
said, honestly, it's like Wick. It's like you summed it up perfectly without seeing it. It's Konosuba where they don't go. Like it
Yeah.
really is like that.
By the way, Konosuba is one of the funniest fucking
Love that fucking
anime
thing.
ever made.
Excalibur. When Aqua laughs at Excalibur, come on, one of the fucking greatest things ever. So, because
So
he
good.
called, for those of you that don't know, in the anime Konosuba, the main character he calls his dick Excalibur, and
That reminds me of a fucking
uh,
what was a what fucking anime was it where Excalibur was like a singing sword?
oh shit, was it Soul Eater?
Oh yeah, I think it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, Soul Eater.
This is
Yep,
the most annoying fucking character
I
of
love
all
that show though.
time.
That was a great show.
Great show though. Yeah.
But so Interspecies Review got it got so the Twitter warriors went after like Funimation. They pulled it right. But the funny thing is, a lot of these people that don't know anything about the writer or the artist or the manga, they were saying male toxicity and it's such a chauvinistic
It's a
show. But
woman.
it's a woman who writes the fucking show and who writes the manga. But I mean, like, I'm not trying to get into that point. But anyway, it's a really good show. I like that, and
I'll
I
dig into
watched.
that topic. No,
I watched a few episodes of Redo of Healer, which is another one that got
what is
really
it?
Redo of Healer. Don't
I've
mind my
heard of
dog. My
that. I
dog is
didn't.
drinking. All that lapping sound is
Are you good?
my 150-pound dog drinking his water bowl of all opportune
You're
times.
you got fucking interspecies review off to the
Yeah,
side and
yeah,
wanking it. That's what
yeah.
I'm.
You can't see. Look, ma, no hands. Look, ma, no hands. I got my auto blow 360 underneath the desk. Yeah. So, but no, but yeah. So redo of
That's what
healer.
VR is
Yeah,
really for. Let's be honest. No.
yeah. That's why I need to get a good one. The redo of healer is really now that is racy. That is some crazy twisted shit. But it's I don't know. I like so redo of healer is another isekai with a fucking fantasy setting, but like the main character was a healer in the party. So have you seen Goblin Slayer?
uh, that's an older one, right?
No, the Goblin Slayer just came out not too long ago.
What
It's
am
one of
I
the new
thinking?
ones.
Oh, I'm
You're
thinking
probably thinking
Alina the Demon Slayer, or whatever the fuck.
maybe
What was
maybe.
that? What was that? The old one with the redhead magician girl. This
I
her
can't.
name is like Lena, I think.
Yeah,
The fuck
I can't think of it right now.
is it Demon Slayer? Sorry,
Maybe.
yeah, no, Goblin Slayer. I haven't seen it.
So anyway, it's kind of like in that vein. But yeah, redo of healer is it's really racy is all I could say. Like you got this healer who like he was abused and tormented.
Slayers. Sorry, Slayers.
Oh, I remember Slayers. Yes, yes. Now I know what you're talking about. So I can't really like say, but so this main character he was a healer like a cleric or a priest, but his part like he got abused, he got raped by men and women, and he got abused, and they fucking burned his eye. They did all this crazy shit to this guy, and then
Sure.
like he basically something happens to him, and he gets reborn as like really powerful, and then he comes back and he's getting revenge on all the people who abused him. And it's really twisted, and it's almost like revenge porn. But there's
Mm.
something about it that's just like it's so
I
dark and twisted. It had its hooks in me, and I was like, I wanted to see what was gonna happen next.
Sure.
You
Some
know?
some anime does that, man. Like I remember, you ever see the original Gantz?
Yes, I had to think about it for a
Like
second. Yep.
Gantz, like that shit fucked me up when I was watching. I was younger when I saw it, and like there is some heavy, dark, morbid, gory fucking shit in that anime, and I'm like, but I still like when I thought like I don't think I'd ever watch it again, ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much. But I remember like for a long time, yes, like one of the best anime I had seen. That was still it. There was just something about it that just because it just sticks with you. Like I watch tons of anime. I don't think a day goes by where I don't watch something. Very rarely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at least an episode or something, you know. So like you just kind of it's shit. Some stuff blends, some stuff stands out, some stuff doesn't, and there's some shit that you just do not forget. Like
Oh
you just
yeah.
never fucking forget it. And now
Mm-hmm.
that Gantz is definitely, I mean, it's near the top of the list of shit I will never forget. There's a scene in that, I don't want to ruin it for anybody. It's just a scene where somebody you don't think's gonna goes in one of the most horrific fucking graphic ways I've ever seen in an anime. Just really dark. It was just
Yeah.
so fucked up. So fucked up. But it was just really good. And I get that. Like they This is my favorite thing about anime is that you get all these crazy situations and they still manage to make you give a shit about almost everybody in the
Yep.
show or whatever in the series. You spend so much time with them, like especially like the longer ones. They've been doing this like 8 to 12 episode thing a lot and a lot of the newer shit, which is annoying. I like when a first season's got like 24 episodes. Like I want to dig into it. Like Rising of the Shield Hero is a great one. You can
Oh,
just
yep.
dig into right away and it's fucking solid top to bottom.
Hmm.
Whereas these other ones, like I feel like, oh shit, it's over already. And then I have to wait like a year or two to see more, and you're like, ah,
I
fuck.
know
Like, and I've
that's
watched
rough.
30 more in between. It's a thing. But it's the way they've been doing serialized TV shows now. Anime's been doing that forever.
Hmm.
It's become more prevalent in like regular streaming services and shows and stuff out now, where you have these, you're sitting with characters for hours. You know what I mean?
What's one of the like? What anime recently have you like stumbled upon and like it's one of those situations where maybe you slept on it, you didn't know, you stumbled upon it, and then you were like, holy shit, I got to
Tokyo
power watch
Revengers.
Tokyo Revengers.
It's still the simuldub still streaming, but that's one of them. I'm watching that on Crunchyroll right now. I had known about it because it's still new,
Hmm.
but I had known about it and I was like, yeah, I'm probably not going to watch that. It's just something about I don't know. I don't know why I wrote it off. I just didn't think I was going to like it, and it's phenomenal. It's really good. And then what else am I watching right now? I'm watching a bunch of shit that's still simuldub, so it's not even finished. But Full Dive has been really good. That's been really fucking interesting. That's an isekai done, not an
Hmm.
isekai. It's like one of those.
Oh, is
It's
that Full
kind of
Dive is the one that's this is that the one this RPG shittier than real life? Is that the one?
yeah, yeah.
Yes, I like that one. Yep, I like
It's
that one.
really good. Like
Hmm.
it's a different version of like the same thing. You've
Yep.
seen it's not a full isekai because he can come out. He's not like
Yeah.
transported, but like it's a similar thing where he's in a game world type thing. But it's all like hyper realistic and it's just but it's dark. It's like way darker, but still quirky and funny. It's got an odd humor to it. Um,
The guy, or I think it's a guy, the person who wrote that show, their first anime they released was really good. That was one that I like. I stumbled upon. It sounded stupid and it looked stupid, and then I watched it and I
the
power watched the
marketing
entire
and name are
series.
not good.
Like the his first series was called it was also another it was a name like the overpowered hero is seriously overpowered. It was something
Oh,
like that.
yeah, that's one of like the main isekai ones, and part of that same little universe of
So that's
of
his.
of Re Zero. It's just the same guy. I
It's
didn't
the
know
same
that.
guy, yeah. And that
No
shit, I
shit. Yeah,
love
that
that.
was
Yeah,
the hero is yeah. What the fuck is that called? It's
something like
I love
that.
how they're doing like everything sounds like a fucking uh like a Dillinger Escape Plan song title or something. It's like or not. Who are the band that used to do the fucking like Tony Danza tap dance extravaganza? Like it's fucking everything's like a full
Yeah,
sentence of a title now.
there
Like, oh,
was.
so I'm a spider, so what? Like, that's been a pretty good one.
Yeah, that one's not
Um,
bad.
I
Um,
dig it. For CG too, like usually the CG anime doesn't it bothers me. Like it starts to irritate me, and it's
mhm.
actually been done pretty well. The action sequences aren't great, but I'm
Oh
trying to think. That is a good question. Like what I slept on for like more, not new. Like if there's anything that has been out for a long time and I just didn't watch it for a while. There was um, Yuri on Ice.
I didn't watch that one actually.
I didn't watch it. I've known about it for however fucking long it's been out. Because that's been around for a little bit, and
Hmm.
I didn't watch it. And then I caved during the pandemic, and I was just started looking like, let me see some. I started getting into more of the slice of life ones, um, and it was great. I genuinely enjoy it. It's just a really good solid um anime. Uh, there's been a couple like that, two other slice of life ones, like because
Oh
the first
yeah.
one I ever watched was Nana, so like one of
Hmm.
the first like full on slice of life ones because it's a musician, and like the city and the
Yeah.
whole thing, and
Hmm.
I felt pretty fucking relatable. Um, but shit, dude, I'm trying to think. I feel like there's something. It's like in the back, but I can't remember all the isekai shit I've been loved though.
Hmm.
And then the Avengers version of the Isekai Quartet. You ever see that?
Oh, I actually didn't watch the Isekai Quartet.
It's
That's the one with all the
surprisingly
chibi
fucking
characters, right?
yeah. From
Yeah.
from the from so it's the chibi characters from all of the isekai like Overlord and Re Zero, the
Hmm.
heroes overpowered, Shield Hero. They're all and Tanya the Evil, which is pretty good. Those are all like in the same. I guess I'm guessing the same animation. I don't know if it's Bones or whoever makes it. But they did like Avengers Assemble style, put them all in the same fucking show, and made it like a comedy. It's like a 15-minute episode format, and it's purely comedic, and it's surprisingly good. I thought it was going to be stupid, so I didn't watch it for a while. But it's pretty funny. It's quirky, and it's like bite sized, because it's short.
Yeah. There was a,
Um,
recently, like I was telling you earlier, I'm into anything Viking, knight, samurai. I'm
sure.
into like old school. So like obviously Vinland Saga was one that I stumbled across it. Oh,
Rurouni Kenshin,
Anime High School. Which one's Cowboy? Anime High School. What's Anime High School? Is that the
High
Isekai
School of the
one?
Dead.
Oh, High School of the Dead. I like that one.
High School of the Dead was good. Which one? There's a fuck. Almost all of them take place in high school.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. Um, he said, "Give me a moment."
Anime High School. Oh,
So
is it the name of the show?
he's thinking of it right now. So one of the things that I came into that I
High
power
School
watched,
DxD.
I like that one too. Opie. Every, lots of fan
Boost.
service.
Boost.
I'm gonna be
Show's
saying that
fucking.
next time I'm in the bedroom with the wife.
Boo! Just start yelling at strangers.
Yeah.
Boost.
Yep.
There was what was the other one?
Did you watch
There's
recently?
Assassination Classroom with the yellow dude. That was really good.
Did you watch? There was one that was pretty recent, and I stumbled upon it, and I literally power watched in like 2 nights. I watched the entire. It was
There's
like
no
20.
other way to watch anime.
It was called Mushoku Tensei. It was
That sounds familiar, but
jobless. Wait, I gotta look it up. Musoshu Tensei. It was called Jobless. Fuck, what was the hell was the name of this shit? Uh, Jobless Reincarnation. That was one. Put that on
oh,
the
it's a
list.
light novel. Anime High School is a light novel series. There's another show though, Cowboy Bots. There's another one that's about high school prodigies in another world, and I started watching and it wasn't great. They all end up in this place and then like start teaching people, like there's the business genius who figures out how to like make everybody rich, and
Ooh,
he's good at
Cowboy,
commerce
I
and all that.
like that one. Devil is a part timer. That was a good
But
one.
Devil Part Timers bomb. They just they're doing a second season. They just announced
Can't
that
wait.
recently.
Cannot wait for
But the
that one.
animation style is different. It's weird.
Is it?
Yeah, they made
Mm,
him look like a fucking child.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm a
I'll
little
get
miffed
past it
about
though.
that.
I'll get past it, but
Yeah,
still.
I'll watch the shit out of it anyway. But the first one was so good.
You know what's funny? Speaking of that, making them look like child. I was just speaking with.
Reverse isekai.
I was.
Yeah, no shit.
I was just talking to a friend of mine a few days ago, my buddy Jinx, right? And he was saying how he was always the manga guy. He never watched anime. But he said that he's like, he's been binging 90s anime and he feels that he likes he in his words, the anime from the 90s had much better art than current. And I said
it's
that's
it's different.
so I said I don't agree, but I said, because the technology, I was like, the animation is better. I said, but what I think that he likes is in the 90s, they made the characters, even the children, look like adults. But now they make all the characters look like children.
Stuff is cuter now.
Yeah.
But
They,
not in all of them, but yeah, there was everything was like also hypersexualized in the
yes.
90s too. It
Yeah,
was before
true.
they started reeling shit in for the dollars.
Yeah.
Like I mean, even we were talking about Golden Boy earlier, and it's
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
not like it. That's just over the top. But that was the style of everything.
Yeah.
And they the eyes, they changed the way the eyes were done.
True.
In
Mhm.
a lot of stuff. But there's what was I watched something the other day where fuck, what was that? I saw something the other day. It was it's the first time I'd seen something that looked like the older aesthetic of Anna. Fuck.
You don't remind him,
Uh,
like, of the recent shows,
shit, I can't remember what it was.
Yasha Hime, because if that one reminds me, because it's like the
I haven't
Inuyasha.
watched it.
It's all
But I
right.
saw,
It's all right.
yeah.
It's not great, but like I used to love Inuyasha,
Mhm.
and so like the art style looks like the older. They did a good job of making it like the older new again, like kind of like it's a gap of like it's bridging the two styles, like the older art
Sure.
style with newer animation like technology, but like they've really they're really riding the fact that it's Inuyasha like out.
Oh yeah, it's like the same way they did
Yeah.
Boruto. It's
Yes.
completely riding on the coattails of the stuff that came before
Yep.
it. I actually fell out of Boruto, but
It
I
was
my
good. It
thing.
was bad. It started bad, and then it got
Yes,
good, and then
and then it
then it just like got boring. And now I think it's good again, but I can't bring
I
myself to
left.
catch up.
I fell out of the boring part after the first time they fight one of the god people or whatever with Naruto and Sasuke,
Yeah.
like because that was the best part. All
Yes.
I cared about watching the show was seeing Naruto and Sasuke again. So I
Yeah.
didn't
Of
give
course.
half a
Yeah. I
fuck about
agree.
Boruto like at
And
all.
even like I feel like that scene where they had Sakura running around and fighting that dude, and I was like, they gave Sakura a better fight scene
Than
in
Boruto
like that in Baruto than they did in like than a lot of the Sakura fight scenes in actually in the
and
Naruto
Shippuden,
series.
yeah,
Yeah.
agreed,
One of
agreed.
the only great scenes that Sakura had in Shippuden was when she was fighting the
At the
Sand
end,
Ninja. Remember the Sand Ninja when she was fighting
oh yeah,
the
earlier on,
earlier on and then at the end. Yeah, that was
and
like
then
and
at the
then
end too.
otherwise she was like like I don't know, like she had all this potential and all this power, and she was like one of the say like essentially one of the signing students, and she had the potential. She was one of the future legendary like ninja,
Yeah.
but I felt they never really gave her.
No, they didn't. And then and now she's like just the now
Yep.
she's the mom that
Yeah.
Sasuke is never around for.
What's funny is I don't
She's
really.
badass though.
Yeah, one of the funny things is I don't really like. Again, I'm not like huge on Boruto, but I think that they did a great job on Sarada.
Sarada,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that she's like I
She's
feel like
great DJ software. Sorry.
yeah,
Fucking two people get that joke ever.
yeah, no, that's good because that's probably about how many people I usually have in my chat. But
You're in good company, man.
yeah, thank you guys, thank you, the two of you. Um, but yeah, so like it's funny because I feel they did a really good job of making her like character strong and vulnerable. They like I feel they got the balance right with her, and it's funny because like they took her as Sasuke's daughter, and she's more level-headed and wants to be the Hokage in the future, and
Yeah.
Baruto's more like he wants to be like Sasuke and just back the fucking Hokage up. He don't really have.
She's stronger Sakura.
Yeah, basically.
She's
So
Sakura with the shotgun gun. That's
yeah,
fucking essentially what it
yeah.
is.
So like I mean again, like you, same like you. When I watched Baruto, it was just because I wanted to continue seeing the characters that I loved, and I wanted to keep seeing. But the show was like mediocre at best.
Yeah, it's all right. Like it doesn't like even Shippuden like lost me at some point because though
Yeah,
the filler arcs. So I had to go back and like once it was all done, I watched it after the fact.
yeah.
So it's just like, all right, fuck, dude. Like it was Bleach did the same shit. Like that when they went, they were fucking Ichigo's fighting the Espada and that big fight at the end
Mm-hmm.
in what was it? What the fuck was the name of something Wango or whatever fuck with the when he's saving Orihime and they're in the middle of like this massive epic fight, arc, and then just cut away to completely unrelated shit for what feels like a month, and I'm like, yeah,
Yep.
I'm out. I'm fucking out. I'll come back to this another time. Like I
Yeah.
can't. Don't get me this invested and spend it, especially if you're watching it week to week or something like when it was airing on Toonami or Adult Swim. Like that's fucked up.
They're bringing
I
Bleach
hate when
back
shows do
too.
that.
Did you see
What's
the?
that?
They're bringing Bleach back.
Are they really?
There's a new arc. Did you see the artwork for?
No.
Yeah, they're doing a future skip too, where Ichigo's an adult now. The artwork looks pretty good, but it's
Huh.
what's his name? Tito Cuba, something like that. Is that the artist's name?
I don't
T
know.
the guy who created Tito Cube. You
That's
know what?
fucking cool though.
I'll tell you what. Bleach creator. Let's see.
Bleach was fucking fire though.
Tite Kubo. I said Tito Kube, which is like that would be like more of like a
I think I had
Latin
a
name.
cigar called a Tito Cube once.
Yeah, he did let me see. I'm gonna is there so long story short, yeah, he's got a fucking he's coming out with a new arc of Bleach, and
No shit.
he did some artwork. He posted a picture of the adult Ichigo, and it looked pretty good.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah. I'm trying to Google real quick and see if I could find let me see, new Ichigo pic. Let me see. Is that good enough to find? Here we go.
There's a delay what I can see on the
Yeah, no, I'm
stream
gonna
too.
just
So
yeah,
if
I'm
you put
gonna
it up there, I'm just gonna fucking Google
Google.
it.
Yeah, if you, I think you could fucking. They gave him this short, slick back hairstyle. There was actually, I saw it on Twitter, and there was a bunch of women thirsting after adult Ichigo, and they were
That
like,
checks out.
yeah, they were like, oh my god, look at the blah blah blah. But yeah. So I mean, I will read it
I
or
can't believe we're
watch it.
getting a new Bleach though. That's crazy.
I think that his Burn the Witch was more successful than they thought. So um, I liked Burn the Witch,
I didn't see
and
it.
you should watch. It's like 3 episodes long. It was a mini series, and it was pretty good.
Oh
Really
yeah, he looks cool.
artistic as fuck. And there was a if you rewatch it, there's a lot of Easter eggs and nods to Bleach. And then at the end of the three like series, not I'm not telling the story, but like you could kind of see they gave a nod, like an Easter egg, saying that Burn the Witch was kind of in Bleach's
The
universe.
same world.
hmm
That's cool.
So
I wanna. I actually don't. I'm trying to think. I don't think when they with the arc when the Espada invade Earth after the Orihime sequence with Aizen. I think I finished that, and then I don't remember what was after that because then it went into another flashback arc of one of the fucking captains back in the Soul Society, and then I
mhm.
fell off after that. And I don't think I ever finished Bleach after that. I think that's where
Bleach
I'm
was one
at.
of those things I would always like. Yes, I would fall off, and then when there was like lulls in like when you were waiting for your favorite anime to come back, and there was like nothing going on, like in between seasons, I would always go back and like kind of catch up with it.
Yeah, there's so much shit now though. It's like there's so
It's
many
true.
new things to watch that I'm like,
There's
it's
always
I
something
don't
new.
often come
No,
back unless I'm waiting for like another season or something. Like right now, Rising of the Shield Hero, if I think is probably one of the ones I want to see the next season of
yeah,
most. So that and ReZero, but the whole all those fucking isekais from that little
they're all
group
good.
of
Yep,
them are so good.
there's so many of
And
them.
then the dub of the second part of Alicization of Sword Art.
hmm
Sword Art's fucking the first one too, especially was so good.
There's an anime that I got hooked on recently, called Kingdom, and if you
Not
were
familiar.
Kingdom is basically so it takes place in like China, but it's like the Dynasty Warriors. So if you take Dynasty Warriors and you turn it into an anime, and it's just, in my opinion, it's just so fucking well done. And I started
Mm.
watching it. And like I said before, I love that shit. Like things like Vinland Saga, anything that's like an epic like. And I love like old school like war animes that like take time to build up like in the war
It's
and the
funny.
strategies.
You and
Like
I are like the exact opposite in that. Like you like the Viking old like elven fantasy. I like the isekai fantasy stuff, and I actually only got into all that world because of mostly because of the isekai anime.
mhm.
But like 9 times out of 10, if the shit took place anywhere before the year 2030, I was like, nah, I'm out.
Yeah,
For a long time, it's like that's why Bubblegum Crisis and all this shit like super spoke to me. Futuristic cyberpunk and all that. But I will say, the more you give these things a chance, the stories and a lot of them are just so fucking good, and the animation too. And some are just so fucking good. It's like I could watch anything if it's anime. I literally watched a show about a fucking ice skater, like and it was amazing. Like it's all so fucking good. They're
you
so
know,
good at telling stories when it's a good anime, obviously.
are you into mech anime?
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to get into a couple more lately. I started watching that like reboot in the same universe as what was it, Gridiron Man or whatever, the SSSS
Mm-hmm.
Day Zone or whatever. But it's like most of them get so caught up in trying to be the old ones, and they keep like even the fuck one of the better ones I've seen is actually the DreamWorks Voltron one. Like that's one of the better mech ones I've seen in a while. The rest of them keep trying to
To me, there's when it
do
comes
the
to
old
like
thing.
it's funny because everyone will always say Gundam and that stuff, but like to
Oh,
me,
Gundam Wing was legend.
and I wasn't really like obviously Evangelion, but
Evangelion is
my
amazing as well.
my favorite mech anime is Goron Lagann. Did
I never. That's the underground one, right? Starts out and then
Yes,
Gurren
yes,
Lagann. Yeah,
yes,
I've seen it.
yes, yes.
I didn't love it. I
Oh my
liked it.
god, it hooked me, and I loved it, and the characters, and it just gets.
It's good. I mean, it's a classic. I mean, it's one of the most. It's got to be one of the most popular anime ever. I've seen Gurren Lagann like a million. I think I looked up a list not long ago of top 30 anime and it was on it.
Love that
Gurren
fucking.
Lagann has been around for yeah.
That shit had me by the feels, like
I get it. I mean, it's a good one,
drill
but
for the heavens. Yep. Hmm.
trying to think if there's another mech anime that like I really liked.
I mean, we could think of recent ones too. Like recently, I'll say, Darling in the
Aquarium
Franks.
was good.
Did you see Darling in the Franks? I like that
Yeah,
shit.
and that was another one. I
Uh,
kind of fell out of it in the middle, and I wanted to like it too because I like the characters,
yeah,
especially
02.
Zero Two. I was gonna just call her
Ah,
two. Yeah, Zero
chef.
Two.
Yeah,
It's
chef kiss.
fucking. It's just a cool. Yeah, it's just a cool character, man, and it's so it's got all the little quirky things that I like and the fan service and shit, but something about it was a little too dry.
Hmm.
You know, it was good. It just like started to lose me. What did I just watch the other day? It's not really. I don't know. If it's not really a mech anime, but I watched Decadence.
I was just gonna say that one. Yeah, that was a good one
That was
too. I
pretty good.
consider that.
I
Yeah,
watched the whole fucking thing in a day,
yeah.
so
I
it
like
was
that one.
pretty good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
I
It's
enjoyed it.
kind
The
of
animation
isekai.
was
It's
good.
kind of isekai, I guess, because like
It's got
kind
this
of
like
not really,
weird.
but it's weird.
It
It's
was.
different.
I will say that leaving the twist for the second episode was
Hmm.
ballsy
Yeah,
because I was like a little like what's going on, and but then when they hit you with it, you're like what the absolute fuck is going on?
yeah.
Really bizarre, and it was so quirky, but well done. I enjoyed that a lot. You know what I just remembered? I think I have to say maybe the best, maybe the one of the top three of the last couple years. Now that I think about it, that was new and wholly original. Is you see the Great Pretender,
I don't think I did. The
dude,
Great Pretender. I gotta Google
on
that shit right now.
Netflix? Go
It's
on. It's like
I watched B Stars on Netflix, but I didn't.
Beastars was
It
I
was
like
I
that.
liked it. I did. I did like it.
A lot of social commentary in that one packed
Yep.
into that. Kind of the way very similar in the way that fuck was that movie called, the animated film with the bunny cop
Yes.
and the fox.
Yep.
That was actually really Zootopia.
Yep.
That was surprisingly good and similar kind of like social commentary. I thought it was really well done. But no, dude, Great Pretender, watch it. It's like uh it's like an Ocean's movie mixed with like Cowboy Bebop, but in like current times.
Yeah. All right.
It's
That's cool. Yeah, I see it. You
yeah,
know, it's funny. I remember seeing it, like looking at the poster. Now I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, I want to watch that. And then
it's
it
fucking
totally slipped my
good.
mind. I didn't get to watch
It's
it.
fucking good. I mean, it's one of the better. It's one of the most like original styles of anime I've seen in a while too, because it's just like this bubblegum fucking fever dream the whole time, like just color. But then it's just cool characters, good stories and stuff, and great soundtrack.
Are you
Just
into
done well,
the?
and the cinematography in it is dope. I know people don't give anime enough credit for cinematography, but it is they do. I've seen some of the most original fucking shot ideas. I know it's animated, but that only makes it more hard, like even more difficult in some elements, in most elements. But some of this fucking just do some really cool shit. Yeah,
Are
really dig it.
you a fan of the JoJo's series, the JoJo's Bizarre
I am,
Adventure?
yeah. I didn't think I was going to be, and I kind of didn't want to be.
Yeah.
And then I started watching them, especially Stardust Crusaders
Hmm.
with Jotaro.
Yep.
That's the better one of all of them, in my opinion. But yeah, I got into it. It's quirky, it's weird. It's got that same colorful thing that Great Pretender has, but it's just so fucking ham-handed, that you like, all right, I'm not mad at it, but at the same time, like you got to be in the mood for it, you
Yeah,
know?
I agree. You know, it's funny though. When I started watching it, when I was watching it, I liked that, especially in the original few like series. All of the characters were based off of classic rock bands. You
Yeah.
know, because
Yeah.
so I always thought that like the nod to rock and roll was very
The
cool.
whole and it runs throughout,
Yeah,
which is great. Yeah, I think that's awesome. And it's
REO Speedwagon and
yeah,
fucking like
literally didn't even borrow. It's
no,
just straight the fuck up the dude's name.
yeah.
Like The Speedwagon
Speedwagon
Foundation.
Foundation.
You know? Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's a good show. It's
yeah.
fucking it's unique. That's for fucking sure.
And then
There's
even the one that they had walk like an Egyptian as the outro, like I was like, this is fucking.
Actually, you'll appreciate Great Pretenders for that too. Is the name is based off the Freddie Mercury track, and the whole intro is
Oh, okay,
based off the music video and
cool,
the outro
cool.
animation. Yeah, so it's a whole like Queen thread throughout, but it's done really really well.
I'm gonna switch it up real quick,
Shoot,
because since we're talking about soundtracks and music and rock and roll, I wanted to talk about this before when we dabbled in gaming a little bit earlier, but I wanted to ask. Remember when I was asking about you like putting music into like if you were going to try to get into like
sure.
soundtracks and music and gaming? What is your favorite music in gaming? Like what when you think back to a nostalgic moment or you think to a soundtrack to a game, what game like captures your fucking like you hear a track from it and you're like you're warped back in time?
Honest, honestly, not a lot of um stuff sticks with me except for the golden eye tracks, like the first thing that pops in my
Mm-hmm.
head.
Yeah.
But like music in games, I don't know, like it tends to be like I was thinking like Tony Hawk, because it was songs I didn't know, I wouldn't have known, but they were just regular songs, but they
Yeah.
were put in the game, so like stuff like that. But there's not too many game songs that really stuck with me, to be completely honest. um I will say though, actually, you just reminded me of something I wanted to say earlier. To getting a song in a video game,
Mhm.
bucket list is to get a song as the opener of an anime.
That would be pretty sick. I
Absolute
love.
fucking
Listen,
bucket list.
half the time.
I'm going to make that happen.
Uh,
If I have to make the fucking anime myself.
yeah, that's
Second
actually a
bucket
good
list item
idea.
is have my own anime as well. So
Yeah, so you can put them both together. Look at that. It's
yeah,
fucking. Yeah,
that's the plan. I'll just do the same thing we did the movie. I'll do voice in it. I'll
yeah.
write the fucking thing, direct it, do the song,
Hey,
and then jump off a building afterwards.
since you're into dub, it won't be too hard, you know.
No, that's
Hell,
what I'm saying.
you could even employ me and my and Cowboy Bot
Sit.
here. Well, you could
Right,
be
just
in.
got fucking Frankie. We'll just name the character Frankie
That's
and
it.
write it in the goddamn anime.
Like
You know.
I
But
could be
no,
like the demon, like Demon Slayer. Some of the English actors
yeah,
on there. They're not
right.
trying too
You're
hard
just
either.
yelling the entire
Yeah.
time. Ah!
Yeah, that's it.
So dude, yeah, but the game soundtrack, I don't know. It's a good question though. I've never really thought about it with I've never really thought about it with games before. Not shit doesn't jump out at me. I'll notice bad sound design in general.
Yeah.
That annoys the crap out of me. But yeah, what about? I'm curious. What's yours? Do you have something like that jumps like a old
Yeah,
Warcraft or?
I like. It's funny because I wasn't gonna mention Warcraft, but when you said it, I can hear the drums, the war drums in my head. So like that,
Yeah.
there are things like it's like I guess you said Tony Hawk, right? Now, if we're gonna go like, it's funny because I played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 back in the day, I was addicted to that fucking game, and as when anyone mentions Tony Hawk, all I think of is Ace of Spades by Motorhead. That
The
and
Ace of Spades.
that like, bro, I would put that shit on a loop and just fucking skate around that park for days. But if I like, it's funny because I was chatting earlier today with my buddy Lou, who was in Machine Elves with me, and I was because
Yeah.
when he was on when we did the first episode of Let Me Be Frank with You, he was on, and it went on a whim because I was like I wanted to test out my setup, and he was there, and we were talking about he loved the Castlevania soundtrack, but to me, like when I would think back to like classic games and like soundtracks, and I was telling him earlier, Mega Man 3 was no one ever
Ooh.
mentions Mega Man 3 as a soundtrack.
I'd say Mega Man X, but
See,
yes.
Mega Man's all their soundtracks were really good, but
Dun, 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 dun.
3 had like 3 was just such a like even the intro, and I was joking around with him. I was like, because he didn't know the songs from Mega Man 3, and I said, bro, I said like those songs fucking slap. They're all bangers, like they're really good though.
I'm starting to think fucking now you got me thinking about it. I'm blending two songs in my head and I'm wondering how similar they actually are.
Mhm.
Tank from the opening of Cowboy Bebop and the fucking Mega Man X song. I can't actually remember if they sound anything alike or if I'm just confusing the two in my head now.
I would play Tank, but obviously we
You'll
know
get
how.
DMCA'd
Yeah,
immediately.
immediately. See,
Yeah.
I think I'm more allowed to play game songs because they won't really know if I'm playing the game
Yeah.
or if I'm playing the music.
No, Tank, you'll be fucked.
Yeah, Tank, I'll be fucked. But
Shout out to Yoko Kano and his seatbelts for being one of the most legend. You want to talk about anime soundtrack? You want to talk about soundtracks?
mhm.
Yoko Kano and his seatbelts. Yoko Kano doing fucking anything. She's probably my she yeah, absolutely my favorite for anime soundtracks and shit. She even did that opening of do you ever watch Standalone Complex Ghost in the Shell?
Yes. Hmm.
The inner universe that fucking that was my
Oh, yep.
ringtone
Hmm.
for like 100 years, like forever. I loved that
Yeah, that was
fucking.
good.
I
Yeah,
love
that
that
was really
song.
good.
Yeah,
I mean,
so good.
there's so many good fucking songs. There's so many. It's funny because there would be times where I would hear anime intros and I'd go into the studio like, I want to write something with this vibe.
Yeah, yeah. Like that
99% of the
fucking
time it never came to fruition, but that was like, how many times I'd go in with a vibe that I from an
absolutely
anime intro that I heard, and I was like, this
that
is.
that fucking that old Bleach one too by Orange. That's an
Oh,
Orange, I
Orange was
believe.
good.
Fucking bomb.
Uh,
Um,
fucking. You were talking about Soul Eater earlier. The intro to Soul Eater. Some of them, those songs
Soul
were.
Eater was good.
Oh, so many. Yeah.
You want to? Oh yeah, I have a big shout to the fucking the guy who does the soundtrack for My Hero Academia
Mm-hmm.
is nuts because it's like I don't know what he's doing. I need to analyze it more, like independent of the visual. But there's something it's just so it elicits emotions for shit that could otherwise be very like borderline corny,
Mm-hmm.
and it ends up making it like powerful, like really fucking powerful. Like I watch that show sometimes, and I'll be immediately like on the verge of like, oh god, like
Yeah.
I'll be all like amped up or like just like yeah, just because of the fucking music in it, the guitar and strings and shit. I'm like, this is great. Like I need to sample that stuff or something, but I need to figure out what the hell that guy's doing.
There's a song you need to listen to. Like I'm tempted to like play it, but I'm not. I don't want to get the MCA.
Send it to me.
It's from when I was speaking of Vinland Saga earlier. The opening track to their first season is from a band called Survive Said the Prophet, and
Huh.
they are the song is called Mukanjo or something. I think that's the name of it. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but anyway, it's funny because this song is like, I love the fucking song, and this band I think is great, but like each one of their songs varies so much from like song to song that. All right, hold on. Let me make sure this is on mute. Yeah, I got it on mute. I'm gonna send you. Is this? I don't even know if this is. No, this isn't the full song. This is the. That's just the intro. Okay, so I gotta look for. Uh, no, let me just put. Survive Said the Prophet. There we go. I'm gonna find that song. There we go. I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna actually put it in the chat here for those of you that are curious. If you never watched Vinland Saga, Madness, you would if even if you're not into anime, you might like Vinland Saga because I know you play For Honor with me all the time, and you love Viking. So well, I mean, I know you're more of a Knights player, but still, the Viking anime is fucking awesome. Um, that is actually one of my like we were talking earlier about genres of games that we play.
Yeah.
So I love RPGs. I love fighters. I play a lot of first person shooters. Don't get me wrong. I play like I was telling you earlier. I play Battlefields. I play all the Call of Duties. Every one that comes out, I get every Call of Duty. Um, Overwatch. You said you played Overwatch for a long time. I was big into
Years.
Overwatch. Big into
Tra-
Overwatch. I still play.
Tracer main. You?
I so if I log in right now and look, I think my main characters were uh Lucio, probably Reinhardt, and Genji and
Genji
Zarya.
main.
But
Oof.
I was Genji main in like before they put hero limits. I only get to play tanks or healers now because
Gotcha.
like that's just so the way the cookie crumbles. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to sit in the queue for 5 minutes. And even when I
That's
play,
fair.
Even like it was probably more than that when you queue as DPS. Even with the tickets, you know that
It
ticket
dep
system they put.
Yeah, it's not as bad. It's sometimes, but yeah, it's why you got to party up 9 times
Yeah,
out of 10.
and it's funny because like I feel like I play so much tank and healer that when I actually do get the chance to play as DPS, am like not as good as I used to be with the DPS.
That's fair. It is one of those things. It's like it's a muscle you need to work out
Yeah.
regularly. Like
Hmm.
I can't jump back in as easy. Like I actually now that I'm PC, I do play soldier a lot more.
Hmm.
I think I play soldier a lot more because the speed of gameplay on PC versus console is pretty different.
Hmm.
So you end up playing against some people and you're like,
Oh, now they put the crossplay in too. Yeah, I forgot.
yeah, yeah.
So
So it's been it's one of those things. Just to see, I found it a little easier to not get completely fucking murked. Because like on Xbox, I was pretty solid as a tracer, but as soon as I went to PC, it was
yeah, totally. Yeah,
it's a little harder. Because even just doing the snap turns and stuff with the mouse, it's like my eyes can't even keep
yeah.
up with it. Like what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, it's funny because I when I would play on console a lot of times, especially games that are crossplay, I'm cursing at people playing on a mouse and keyboard. But it's
Especially widows. Ugh.
the thing is though, if when I go over to playing on PC, right? Like I was just playing I was in the beta for the new Tom Clancy game X Defiant.
Mm.
Um, so I got the beta on PC and I'm playing and I'm like, I'm trash on a mouse and keyboard because I'm so used to the fucking sticks. So I'm trying to, and like I'm whipping my camera all over the place because I'm not
Dude,
used to it.
dude, Azeron. Do you have an Azeron? You ever see the Azeron before?
Nah,
Hang on.
but yeah, like
Let me see if I can get this up into the. If I have enough free cable, can you see this?
oh, I know, I didn't know that's the name of it. So that thing
Yeah,
is crazy, and I've
yeah,
seen
and
it.
it's got
And
a
uh,
full 360 joystick on it. So I went straight from console to this. Took me like 2-3 weeks to
yeah,
get the hang of it. Because I
yeah.
fucking hate WASD. I
Yeah,
refuse.
bro, you don't even know. I'm playing fucking this Tom Clancy game, and half the time I'm like, I'm using the WASD, and I'm hitting my fucking my fat Italian sausage fingers are hitting the wrong keys, and I'm like, I'm supposed to be like strafing, and I'm throwing a grenade at my own feet, and I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
this is not
Same,
working
dude.
for
I
me.
fucking no. And you keybind. I have like a few presets, and then I'll re-keybind things in game to like kind of everything's loosely familiar already, the way your
Yeah.
controller would be. It's
Hmm.
fucking awesome. Love it. Otherwise, I don't think I would have made the switch because I was up until the pandemic. I had been Xbox only. I
Yeah.
barely PC gamed at all. I don't even know. Because I had a Mac too. I only got the
Yeah.
PC during the last thing for video editing and shit. I needed something a little stronger for the
Hmm.
higher res footage off my new camera. But um, let's be real. I got it. I got that for like the work reason. But
Yeah.
then I went out and bought a fucking Azer on a bunch of games, Steam, and a Valve Index, and I was like, all right, and that's 9 times out of 10 if I'm on the PC, it's for that now. But
that's, I mean, that's the
um,
way to do it, you know. Yeah,
yeah,
that's the way. So currently, what game is getting most of your time? What game are you playing the most right now?
the last week or so, it's been The Forest, playing my buddy Mike and then my buddy Picasso. I tried Valorant for the first time.
Yeah,
Valorant.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Tomato, tomato.
Um,
I gotta cut you off. Picasso. I what's his what's his
Tenacity PvP.
Picasso?
Alex Picasso. He's out here
Oh,
in
okay.
LA.
Because I had a guy who tried out before we got Joey, and his name was Picasso, and I was like,
Oh
that's
no
not.
no.
I was like, that's
Yeah,
not a
he's out.
common name. I was like, that's not a
No,
common
it's
name. No.
Alex Picasso, but no, he's out here. He's a Twitch streamer. I think it's Tenacity PvP. He's a beast gamer. He's like one of
Yeah.
those dudes in FPS. Like I think he used to play like competitive like at tournaments and shit Counter Strike back in the
Mhm.
day.
Yeah.
Like a crazy high level. And playing with him, it's like fucking it's good you want him on your team or you're
Yeah.
going to be very aggravated.
Yeah.
But he keeps trying to he plays a lot of Valorant. I don't know how to say
Yeah.
it, but so I'm giving it a shot. I went through the tutorial and all that. I don't love the mechanics of it, and it doesn't go full screen on my monitor, which is annoying.
Hmm.
Because I have one of those Samsung super ultra wides to
Yeah.
like behemoth that's basically 227 side by
Mm-hmm.
side. And it's just letterboxes in the middle. It's fucking annoying. I hate when games
Yeah.
do that. But it's one of those things. It's like to me, I was joking. I was like, it feels like an old Western game. Like it's basically draw first shot. If you see somebody, whoever gets the first shot, that's the game. You
Okay, I
know,
haven't
you get
played
dropped.
Valorant, so yeah, I
It,
wasn't.
it's it's weird. And you like even he said he goes the hardest part for most people who play FPS games getting into this is that it's counterintuitive for you normally, but in this game you need to stop moving to shoot somebody or your accuracy is shit.
Mm,
So you need to like see someone or very slowly move, and like stealth and walking are more important than like running around like a lunatic. And I'm an aggressive player in most FPS games. That's why I like the tracer character and stuff like that. And where it's I'm in, jump in, quick in, out, move around, you know. I'm not the sniper type usually, and that's more what this game requires for almost every character.
gotcha. Okay.
You know, I mean, you can use their abilities and stuff. It's got like a slight Overwatchy thing to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'll give it a shot. I'll play it a little bit more. But that and Genshin Impact and the Forest are the main three. I haven't been playing that much Overwatch or Call of Duty on and off. Those are two staples though. Like I
Yeah.
always play them. Um, and then VR chat a bit more lately. And then just trying new stuff. Honestly, I just keep trying different games, trying to find something else that I like. But most of the VR stuff, like the older shit too, is like after playing Alex, dude, I'm fucking spoiled. That game ruined me.
Yeah.
You know, this is so fucking good, and the graphics are so good. Seeing anything from like 3 years ago, and I'm like,
Yeah. Yuck.
everything's made out of polygons. This is ridiculous. Like, you know,
It's like yuck.
but
I'm always chasing that dragon too. I'm always chasing the
straight the
dragon,
fuck
bro.
up, man. Like, if you get the chance, do you have a VR headset or it's
I
just the
don't.
PS?
No, I don't.
Oh, if you ever get the chance, or if you know anybody who has, especially if you can on an index, um, just put your fucking head in it and stand in the environment. Like I think they did a sample one on like the first part of the map, and at the apartment on the balcony. I think there's a sample of Alex you can get, like a demo or whatever, and just that alone, I was like, this is obnoxious. Like just the mechanics of like grabbing and picking things up and shit. It's the most immersive game I've ever
Mm.
played. I mean, it's not. It's what you wanted, like growing up, VR to be.
Yeah, I'm sure. Uh-huh.
You know, minus the giant fucking cable hanging off the
Yeah.
back of my head going to the computer. You know,
Well, I mean,
but
I
yeah.
remember the Virtual Boy. That's because I'm an old fucking fart.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
shit was just designed to make you
Red and black.
blind.
Yeah, red and black
Yeah,
fucking screen.
yeah. Oh
And
fuck,
I was
dude, remember
jealous of
that
like the
shit?
one rich kid who had it, and I was like, oh, I
Yeah,
want that.
I rented it from a Blockbuster.
Oh shit! Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. You could
you
rent
could
that.
rent them.
I
Yeah,
fucking remember that shit. Oh my
yeah.
god. Oh my god.
Fucking
Just
Virtual
blew my
Boy.
mind.
Jesus.
That's crazy.
I
Yeah,
remember there were so many consoles and different things trying. This is like the first time I think in our adult lives we're starting to see that again, because it's really just been like Xbox, PlayStation, and then Nintendo doing its own fucking thing on the
yeah,
side
yeah,
like they
yeah,
always have.
exactly. Yep.
And that was after they ghosted everything for a while. Sega's been gone forever.
That's a shame.
Um, yeah, but these new VR headsets, like all these different kinds and different specs and all this shit, and they're really trying to do something
Mm,
different with each one, which is cool. I'm also really looking forward to seeing where AR goes, like the new Apple glasses and all that shit whenever those drop.
mm-hmm.
But we'll see. I'm geeking out about that stuff big time. I can't wait till it's like prevalent. You just put like little fucking pair of glasses on and like I can see shit and move it with
Yeah,
my hands and all, like, you know,
yeah,
Minority
yeah.
Report stuff for
Yep.
real. Like I can't fucking wait for that.
Yeah, that's. Listen, I always say like, cause I might not see shit in my lifetime. I'm like, if I had the ability at some point towards the end of my life cycle to take the brain out of this fucking dome and put it in a Terminator body, sign me up. Just put
I
me in
just
a
want
fucking
I want full
T-1000.
dive.
Just put
I
me in
want
a,
full dive in my
you
lifetime.
know, Futurama. The brains in the jar. That just
Yeah,
the head,
I
bro.
literally just wrote a fucking we Dane and Slim, my boys were over the other night and we did a fucking we were drinking all night because we had to track some stuff, and out of nowhere we were just like, let's write a song right now. Let's just see what we like. I already had this old beat for a cipher we never used, and just wrote a bunch of verses. And I put a bunch of fucking like I put a couple Futurama lyrics in it, and I was like, I haven't thought about this show in
Yeah,
like fucking ages.
it's always in the
But it
back of
was
my mind. New
yeah, and I
York.
started thinking about it. And I was like, what a great idea to bring cameos and stuff into a fucking show that's set in the future,
Mm.
but we get like Pam Anderson and
Yeah,
Richard Nixon.
yeah, yeah. And the Great Agnew. You know.
Yeah, so show was ridiculous, man.
Yep.
Good though. I like that show. I wasn't a fan of The Simpsons, but that show was
Same.
fantastic.
It's funny because I like I have so many friends and associates that like love The Simpsons, and I just never
Couldn't
I
get
could
into it.
never get into it like the
It's
way
like
when I was a kid.
Seinfeld.
Yeah, but yeah,
Couldn't get into Seinfeld. It's like
uh,
some of those shows that's like they're monolithic, and I'm just
yeah.
like, nope, I'm good.
But Futurama was definitely one that I got into.
Futurama was good. Yeah, I enjoyed. As another one was, I think it was on Adult Swim too. So I was like, I had to watch that to like watch Trigun or whatever the fuck came on
Yeah,
afterwards. So that was
that's
kind
right.
of double win.
Yep.
There was
But
times when they started doing their more Adult Swim like centric stuff, like their own shit, like the Tim and Eric awesome show, good job, whatever. I was like,
oh
oh
yeah, I remember
fucking,
that.
I'm good.
That shit had it
Um,
had its moments, but it was like most of the
I
time it was pretty bad.
couldn't fucking do it. Same with like Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Like occasionally that was funny, but I couldn't get into it.
I only like I used to love Carl. I think that like they should have just given Carl his own
Carl was
show.
great. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
it's because he's fucking like half the people we know back home.
yeah, yeah,
So,
exactly.
you know,
With
but
the South Bronx Paradise Diet.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
just a fucking caricature of like 50% of the people walking around when we go to the grocery store. Like, let's
I
just
know
straight the fuck
I
up
know
like
like
guys.
five calls in real life at
Yeah.
least.
I mean, if you live in that area, you know a Carl or two for sure. The fucking
When he
yeah,
would
I mean
do
there's
the
some
what about what did you ever see the episode when he was fucking playing air guitar for the prostitute trying to impress her?
yeah.
And she's like, "Oh baby, you're so good at that."
Dude, I feel like of all of that though, of all that weird humor and stuff and shit, the C Lab guys coming up with Archer after the fact, that was fantastic.
Mhm.
All the weird quirky humor that finally found its way into
Or
like the mainstream and worked,
even
I'd say
what
Archer.
was oh shit home movies, and then he turned went into Metalocalypse.
Yeah, it's another Brandon,
Yeah,
whatever.
Brandon Small.
Yeah,
Yep, with home
Brandon
movies.
Small. Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
always liked home movies because I used to like the
Metalocalypse,
coach.
I like.
Yeah,
Coach,
Metalocalypse.
yeah, Coach was funny. That was the same dude from Bob's Burgers, right? That
Yep.
was H
Hmm.
John and Archer, H John
Yep.
Benjamin.
Yep.
He's fucking talk about an identifiable voice, huh?
Yeah, that's.
Do you watch John Oliver?
I don't watch John Oliver. No.
Oh, dude, he fucking he's been doing so because of the obviously because of COVID. He's been doing his show from what he calls the white void. He's just doing it in like an all white out room with a glass table. And the last like 2 or 3 episodes, they put like an anime just like in little bits in the beginning and like gags. They did an animated face on the void, like it made it sentient.
Hmm.
And it's H. John Benjamin doing the fucking voice of it. And I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
He has so many great cameos in the fucking show for like
Mm.
what the show is. Like he's had George Clooney and Richard Kind. Richard Kind was amazing in it. He just came back on the last episode. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
That's an underrated dude who's been around forever. I don't even know if you know who I'm talking about when I say Richard Kind.
I mean, I'm sure if if I saw the face, I'm sure I know who it is.
Did
But
you watch Scrubs?
yes.
All right, you remember the guy he had the big smile, always like this, and he was the hypochondriac,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
the older dude,
Yep.
the brown hair, and
Hmm.
he's like, yeah, I need to go into. Almost got like a Gilbert Godfrey thing, giant teeth, big smile,
Yeah. Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time I go to do an impression of him, I slip into Gilbert though. I'm just like fucking. Is this the land of the three named people?
Did you ever hear? Speaking of Gilbert Godfrey, I gotta go on a side. Did you ever watch the listen to the Gilbert Gottfried when he did the audio book for Gray for 50 Shades of Grey?
I heard a part of it.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
he didn't do a full thing. It was a skit, but it was fucking
yeah, I
fantastic.
heard
Yeah,
like a segment of it
yeah,
from
yeah.
that.
It's,
And it was funny. He's a trip, dude. We did where what was it, the Hoboken Film Festival. Bully was in the Hoboken Film Festival. We got nominated for some shit,
nice.
like for a couple things, and it's not in Hoboken though, which is
Hmm.
weird. It used to be, and now it's in fucking like somewhere in bumfuck New York State, which was weird. And they still call it that, but anyway, we went there and Gilbert Godfrey was the host,
Oh shit, yeah,
and it was the best part of the festival, no contest, because
yeah.
he was blasted. I think I'm 90% sure they carried him to the podium, and
Holy
all he
shit.
did was talk briefly in between all the announcers and people giving the awards, and he just kind of came up and did like this little shtick in between. And all I swear, dude, 50% of what he was talking about was making fun of the festival we were at. It was
That's awesome.
fucking great. It was fucking great. I was like, this is highlight highlight of the whole fucking night, man. This is he was a trip, and he's exactly that guy.
Yeah.
Everything just he just sounds exactly like that.
Mm.
Every word. It was it was surreal. It
That's
was
awesome.
fucking
That's
weird.
awesome.
Yeah, it was a trip, man. Fucking
S
what a career that guy's had.
Yeah, I mean, other than that's probably basically all he does now, right? Is like little cameos. I think he does live. Obviously, it's he was doing comedy for like a long time, but
And
this,
voiceover work a lot.
yeah,
Like,
voiceover work. That's true.
fucking Iago and all that
Yeah,
crap.
I don't. But other than that, I think. And then he was doing the roasting. What do you call that? For a
Oh, the
while,
Comedy Central roasts.
the Comedy Central roast. He was doing that for
Those
a
are
while,
great.
but he's yeah. I mean, I guess that's it. Just cameo shit he does now, right? I guess
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I haven't seen. He's another one of those dudes. It's just like he's just around, and then they just pop up and shit. There's so many, and there's so much content being made now on every platform and every medium. It's just everyone's doing something somewhere, and there's no way to know.
Yeah,
It's not like it used to be where it's like a small circle, handful of networks, couple of studios, radio stations. Like everything was more consolidated. Like fucking, we're talking about having a couple of actors that have been in massive movies, and then they just but that was like 15 years ago or whatever.
yeah,
And we're talking about a couple of guys like that, and they'll do a couple of movies here and there. You're like, oh, they're still around. Like, this guy's been in that thing that was in the theater recently or whatever. And then he did like 5 fucking movies, in the same year. The shit you just are never going to hear of. You
yeah,
just never knew about. The king of that is Danny Trejo, who's in our fucking movie, which is a movie most people in this have never heard of either.
yeah,
But that dude does like 100 movies a year. I mean, I'm not, I wouldn't be,
yeah,
I don't think it's a joke to say he probably doesn't mean like 10, 20 films a year, some
yeah.
crazy
I'm
shit.
sure. I'm sure
Yeah, he's just
that sounds
constantly
probably
doing
sounds
stuff.
about right. You
And a
know.
book and a fucking record label and his taco, the Cantina place out here in LA,
Yeah,
which
I
is
was gonna say
fucking
he opened
great.
up a place, right?
He's got a bunch of them. I think they're franchising, and he's got a coffee and donut one as well. But we used to live right next to one of the new cantinas, so we used to go to it all the fucking time. It was great.
Hmm.
I even saw him in there once or twice, and I remember it was mortifying. I'm there with a couple of friends and my wife. And my wife and I got married and got together like right after I did the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw him and I was like, hey, Danny, I don't know if you remember like it directed. He's just like, no fucking clue who I was. Like we
Yeah,
went out to dinner. We spent like 4 days on set and everything. Like he was around for like a solid week, you know what I mean?
yeah,
He's just
yeah,
nothing. I'm just another one of those jerk offs who was behind the
yeah,
camera at some point
yeah,
near him
yeah,
on a film
yeah.
set somewhere. That was,
Yes.
and I didn't get into it like, oh, well, I could have given him some reminders and shit. There was a couple of little random things that happened, but I'm like, I'm just going to let this one go in case these don't work.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just
Just in
fucking
case you don't remember that, and that. I'm gonna go now.
just
It was
putting more
first flight
nails.
anyway.
Hey, honey,
Yeah,
hand me
he's
another
sweet,
nail for this
sweetest guy.
coffin.
But
Pull one
super
to
sweetheart though.
you're like tack it in. Yeah, I know. And that's the thing. Like realistically, I understand. But
Yeah,
like if I was in
I
those
don't
shoes,
remember anybody.
yeah,
And who the
that's
fuck am
it.
I?
Yeah, I know that's true.
You know, it's
That's
it's
true.
bad. My wife gives me shit for it all the time. She's got like built-in facial recognition software, and I can have a full ass conversation with you right now, and you can walk up to me tomorrow, and I'd be like, I'll remember weird details about the things you told me,
Mm.
and like parts of the conversation, but your face might as well just be a fucking like
Yeah, yeah.
another like a mannequin in a shop.
But I think that comes with the territory, especially like when you're performing and like how many times we played in front of hundreds or like when we played packed like sold out Starland shows, we're in
Yeah,
front of 2,000, 3,000 people. Like
yeah,
when you're performing all the time and you see so many faces and like it becomes regular like to like you're trying to connect with your community,
yeah.
but you can't remember every person.
At fucking all, dude. You get really good at pretending you remember
Yeah,
somebody and then baiting them into giving away who they are, though.
yeah,
That is a skill you absolutely pick up doing that enough, which sucks because
yeah,
you don't want to be disingenuous, but like, especially right after you get off, like if you've done like a fucking, 30-40 hour long set plus whatever,
yeah,
and you're fried, and then you get off, and then it's the second part of the job is like meeting everybody who came out
yep,
to see you. And like, I enjoy it, but like, I don't fucking I
It's
won't
hard.
remember
Yeah,
most of it. And
yeah,
then immediately afterwards, if it's a big show, you're drinking. It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
you
That's
really
what.
won't fucking,
Yeah,
my
exactly.
short-term
Yeah.
memory is getting blown the fuck out by tequila right after I meet you. So don't
And
feel bad if in a month from now I don't,
what was
it's not
funny
your
is
fault.
there's like half the times I said I wasn't going to drink after a show was when people would buy me drinks all night.
Yeah,
When I wanted a drink after a show,
nobody
no one
around.
bought me a drink. But
Dry,
I mean,
dry as a bone.
I would just pull out the card, you know. But still, but like there were times where I was like, I'm not drinking after this. I'm not drinking. That's it. I'm done. I'm not
Yeah.
drinking with the show. And then like, I'm just getting handed drinks left and right, left and right.
I would. I was. People knew it after a while. I didn't. If we had another show or a session or something, like if I had to sing again in the near future from a show, I wouldn't drink. But like, so like when we went on tour, I was a goddamn saint all the way up until the last night. Then it was fucking on. By
Yeah.
the end of it, we were like pulling each other off. I think at one point, because that was what She Said Fire, and they carried Steve, our guitar player, Stone. They carried him off stage during one of his guitar solos.
Oh shit.
And then they put him in a fucking elevator, and he was still playing with his wireless. And it was just like everyone, we just went nuts. The whole fucking we covered. I think it was during She Said Fire, because they did that. We went on their stage and covered their entire stage in post-it notes with dicks on them. The whole stage was covered. Every amp, the microphone, the guitar, like it was hysterical. And then I think our drummer was wrestling people on the floor of the bar and shit, like doing like jujitsu and whatnot. It was
That sounds like a
yeah. That's
that
what
sounds
happens.
like an
Like, once the
average.
gloves come off, fucking the boys throw down. So
I
but,
saw earlier in the chat. I don't know if he's still here. Let me take a look. Oh, he left. My buddy. Do you remember a guy named AJ who used to roadie for me, and then he started roadieing for Midnight Mob? If you saw him,
maybe if I saw him, the
yeah,
name sounds more familiar.
AJ Henriquez. He was like he always wore Iron Maiden shirts. He was like a wallflower. He didn't really talk to anybody though. I mean, if you saw him, maybe he was like really quiet. He didn't really talk, but like he was in the chat before supporting. He was in here.
Oh no shit.
But I was just thinking of him because there was when we played. I think it was Irving Plaza. When we played Irving Plaza, it was us, Vajra. It was us, Vajra. What's the other band? Oh man, why can't I remember their name?
Fucking 10 Ton Mojo. I feel like they played
10 Ton Mojo. It was 10 Ton Mojo and another
Mother's Last Day for Lucy.
It was a female fronted band who was pretty.
Sharetta.
I think it was Sharetta. Yeah, it was Sharetta.
I was literally just talking to Ange, like fucking.
Yeah, it was it was Sharetta. Yep.
They're talking about doing another song. They're I think they're the first New York band we played with, because they came down to Jersey before I met any of the guys in the scene and stuff and everyone there.
That was a fantastic show at Irving. It was like every band knocked it out of the park that night.
Irving was dope, man.
We put on a killer set that night. It was like in my opinion, it was like one of the like our best performances.
Yeah.
You know, and it just so happened that was when we were doing the first album and we had the dancers on stage and we had all like the theatrics and all that shit.
Yeah.
And AJ was supposed to be my roadie, and he got fucking shit faced drunk. And I remember towards the end of the night, I didn't realize how drunk he was, so he was supposed to be in charge of all my shit. He's my roadie, you know what I'm saying? Like. And I get out to the car, and I was like, and he walks out to the car, and I'm like, "Where's my stuff?" And he goes, "What stuff?"
Oh fuck.
And I was like, "Bro, all my equipment. Where's my equipment? My guitar, He goes, "What guitar?" I was like, "Now there's hundreds upon hundreds of people in that place, and I had my shit off stage at the time. It was on the floor."
Yeah, Irving doesn't really have like a.
No, it was no proper back room.
No.
So I was like,
bro,
they
did have a fucking toilet right next to the stage, though.
I was like, bro, if my shit is gone, I was like, if someone walked out with my thousands of dollars worth of equipment right now, I was like,
wouldn't be the first time.
I was like, yo, you're gonna have some problems. And he was like, and then I was going crazy, running around the whole place, and then my buddy Eddie, who was roadieing for Tommy Mitchell, my drummer, he was helping him roadie, and he was like, I go outside and I went up the block, And even though he was roadieing for Tommy, he for some reason he was drunk out of his face too. He had all my equipment, and he was sitting there playing the drums on all my equipment, the cases. Like he's a sick drummer, by the way. The kid Eddie was a sick drummer too. And I walk up and I'm like, I look and he's going Babaloo, Babaloo, and, like, and he's just fucking hammering on my equipment playing. I was like, oh, thank God. I was like, these two guys were stupid drunk, and I thought all my shit was gone, and I was like, oh, what a fucking mess that was.
Fucking Irving, dude.
Oh
I think
man.
I'm trying to think. The only time I think I might have played there twice. Did I play there twice? I don't know. I just remember my only distinct fucking memory of Irving was we opened for we played support for what's his face Vince Neil from
Mm-hmm.
Motley Crue,
Of course, yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know why. I have no idea what happened, but somewhere in the middle of the set, towards like the back third of it, I started getting really ill. I started feeling like super fucking sick. And then I do like as soon as our last song was done, I beeline for that little weird single bathroom that's like right next to the
Yep.
stairs for the stage that
Mm-hmm.
leads up to the backstage. Just fucking threw up my soul. No fucking idea what happened. I had to leave. I was like, I'm dying. I have no idea what happened. I was fine, and then I died. And that's my of all the shit. Like I've been to Irving a bunch of times. I've seen a bunch of shows there and everything. Every time I think of Irving, when it's like when you drink a certain liquor that goes sideways and you can't smell it without thinking
Oh
of like,
yeah.
oh, that one time I threw up. Irving forever is like, oh, that one time I threw up.
Do you remember Fontana's?
Yeah. Why does that sound familiar?
It was
That
this.
was
It was this little
a little dive
little
bar.
dive bar that had a stage
Was that near
downstairs to
the
the left.
Williamsburg, near the bridge?
Yes, it was near the bridge. No, wait,
I
that
do
was
remember.
Delancey. Delancey was. I think they were both by the bridge. But anyway, Fontana's. Yeah, it was like near. I think it was like near Chinatown. I don't really remember.
I think I
Um,
broke a monitor at Fontana's.
Probably. So there was one time you were talking about being like really ill on stage,
Same spot.
bro. Worst mistake of my life. I don't eat meat anymore. It's been over a year. I don't eat meat. But like when I was back then, I was a big meat eater. Actually, they used
Sure.
to call me like my friends used to call me Steak Rodriguez. Because I just ate like a steak for breakfast. It didn't matter. I just
Jesus.
ate beef all the time. So right before we played the show, I went out to this Mexican joint and I had beef tongue tacos.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so so I went out and I had beef to like fucking tongue tacos, and which were delicious. But so they were really good at the time. But like, what happened? So like, bro, I get on stage, right? We're getting ready. We're setting up to play, and
Yeah, real quick. Can I tell you where you fucked up?
yeah, I know where I fucked up. All of a sudden, we're setting up, right? And all of a sudden, I get this rumble, and I was like, oh no, this is gonna be
That's
bad.
the worst.
So I'm like, all right, squeeze my cheeks, brace it. I gotta get through. We gotta go on soon, and I'm setting up. The rumble's getting stronger. So I turned at the time my bass player Howie, and I go, "Yo, Howie." He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "You gotta set this up for me." He's like, "I gotta set up my own shit." What do you mean? I'm like, "Bro, I'm gonna fucking explode. I got like there's diarrhea coming. I'm gonna shit my pants." I'm like, "I gotta go," and he's like,
Oh, it's the worst.
"Fine, okay." I run. There was a bathroom near the stage, but it was a
Yeah.
public bathroom because it was a small little dive bar.
Sure.
Run into the bathroom. It's one of those ones. It was like photo finish. I'm like unbuckling my pants. I fucking pulled my pants down. It was like shotgun blast. Like,
Oh,
bro,
beef tongue everywhere.
I'm shitting my fucking brains out. And
Oh.
there was this guy and this Hispanic guy in the bathroom, and he's going, "Holy shit, Jesus Christ, man! What the fuck did you eat? Woo, it's stinking here." And and then he goes to me. He's like, "Bro, man." He's like, "Ooh," and he didn't know. I didn't tell him. I was embarrassed. I was fucking embarrassed. I'm being quiet. And he goes, "You shouldn't have eat those tacos, man." And I was like, "Yo," and now
Oh.
I had to speak back. I was like, "Yo, you don't even know. You're right. I shouldn't have." And when I finally like we're about to go on stage, I'm cleaning up and everything, and I was like so afraid that I was gonna get another bout of diarrhea. that I literally like had to make a fucking butt plug out of toilet paper, and
Oh God.
I had to stuff it up my butt. then I and then I go. It was like I made it like a butt plug out of toilet paper. Go on stage,
Jesus.
and I get on stage, and Tommy, my drummer, goes, "Bro, this is terrible." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "I can smell your shit from the stage." He's like, and I
Oh.
was like, "It was that bad." And then fucking, it was like I was usually very like mobile, like animated guitars. I just stood. I was
Not
one.
didn't fucking move.
This is me the whole set. Just stood still, and it was the worst fucking the
You
worst
turned
thing,
into fucking like
bro.
a prog rock player.
Bro,
Fucking
so bad, so bad. Never eat beef
the
tongue
worst.
tacos before a set.
Being sick on stage in any capacity is like up there with just like worst experiences. We did a gig at we played with what the fuck Saliva at what the fuck was that place called up in the shit up no, northwest end. It was an AEG venue that had like like Baby Nationals and shit and
Hmm.
some bigger. What the fuck was that place called? I don't know if it's fuck. It's not Terminal 5.
Oh, wait a minute, wait, not Highline, not
Yeah,
Highline,
yeah,
Highline.
Highline
Yeah, yeah,
Ballroom,
yeah.
Highline. Thank you. It's
Yep.
gonna drive me nuts.
Hmm.
We did a gig at Highline, and I was like sick, but the guy, our contacts from Starland booked it for us, and we didn't want to turn him down. I
Yeah,
got sick like
sure.
a day or so before, and they had hooked us up with a couple other gigs if we could do this. It was like a package thing, and they were all really good shows. And I was like, all right, fuck it, like I don't care if I'm dying. Dude, I went on stage. I think I had like 102-degree fever or some shit.
Oof.
I'm wearing like this pull down fucking beanie hat thing and like a t-shirt. I'm dying, and the entire time there's a couple parts where you gotta hold out like belt a big note or something,
Hmm.
and like my vision's going black. Like I see nothing as I'm singing. I'm like, this is it.
Yeah,
I'm going down in front of everybody. Like, this is gonna be
that's
it.
rough.
It's the end of it. I need a toilet paper butt plug, something to wake me up.
Seriously.
No,
Bro, I could give you the blueprint. I can
it's
give you.
the it's the absolute fucking worst. It's
Yeah.
the absolute fuck. I hate that shit. And I got food poisoning down in South Padre when we did a small tour down there too. And I'm like, I remember I got off stage. We did a Never Say Never Fest or something. I played some like little rinky dink side stage and just went nuts. There's the day before it was both ends every hour. And as soon
Hmm.
as I got off stage, I was just puking my fucking soul out for a second and just laying there like,
That's miserable, man.
oh, it's the fucking worst. But hey man, you did it.
I did
You
it.
went back out there. You could
The,
have packed it
the
up. It's
show must go
Fontana's.
on, man. Yeah,
Show must
exactly.
go on.
The show
I
must
am
go
now
on.
forever calling it Fartanas though. I'm saying.
I mean, I don't even know if they're open anymore, but
I don't think so. We did I did. There's a Delancey here in Hollywood.
hmm
I saw it's got the same sign and everything and shit too. So
there
it's
was
just
a
even
Delancey pizzeria. I remember when I went out to Hollywood, I had took a
that's what I'm
picture in
saying. It
front
looked
of it.
exactly the fucking same, right? It
It
had
was
the
a
the red
pizzeria. Yep,
neon
yep.
sign.
I have a
Yeah,
picture from when we went out there to play the Blackbird 420 festival.
yeah.
Yeah, and then I have a picture of all of like me, Lou, and Howie were like this in front of it because we were always
Fucking
playing in Delancey.
Delancey's. Yeah,
That
I
place
did
was
I probably played with you the show. I broke the fucking. I leaned
yeah that.
on the cabinet on the front one and the wedge,
Hmm.
and it was like made out of fucking. It was like a paperweight. Like it was nothing. I just stepped on the whole thing. I almost ate
Or
shit
was
off the
or was that
stage.
that shit show we played in Coney Island? Remember when we went to Coney Island?
Oh my god, that
That
was the
was
first time I played with you
terrible.
guys. I
That
think.
was what a bad show that was.
I know that's the night I met. That's the first night I ever played with Midnight Mob
Yep.
too. That show was bad.
That was a bad. Like the venue was. That's why the venue
Everything.
closed. Like I
Yeah,
hate to trash the
top to
venues,
bottom,
but
that was
bad.
terrible.
But I mean, listen, everybody did their thing. We all did what we
What
could.
fuck was? You remember what that place was called?
Tattoo Shot Lounge.
Yes.
I can't.
Yes.
When something's
Good
bad, I don't.
memory.
Yeah, because when things are bad, I remember bad things better than I remember good things. That's why I'm. It's Italians. We have a list, the bad list of
Yeah.
people's names. You do bad. You do bad. I
You're
remember
on
you
my
forever.
shit list, motherfucker, forever.
You do good, and I'm like, I forget sometimes.
It's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
but
I am guilty of that, man. Like if someone you piss me off for a while, I'll just be like, yeah, you were a dick. And then after a while, like, oh, but there were all these other times. No, but that one time you were a dick.
you're a real dick.
There's a big fucking beacon on that one
Yep.
memory in my head. Like, dick. That's
But
fucking funny, man. Damn,
but
tattoo shop lounge.
yeah, that was.
Shit.
It had the potential to be a cool spot right on the boardwalk by Coney Island by the beach,
Yeah.
but
It just wasn't done
management,
right.
yeah, management and just you know
That was the
Honestly,
burden of a lot
quality
of these
issues. It
fucking
was
places.
quality
Yeah,
issues.
a lot
You
of
know,
spots were
they
like
want to
that,
make the
man. It's
money,
just
but they
like,
don't want to invest the money. You know, it's like
yeah, so close. There's so many places that were like so close because the bar was so low
yeah,
for a rock club, right?
you're right.
You just it's so low. Like, make sure your shit works.
Yep,
Have liquor. Do like bare minimum sound
yep,
deadening if you can, so
exactly.
it doesn't sound like you're playing in a fucking tin can.
Yep,
And and
and
and then promote it, and try to make sure there's no visible rats.
and the truth is, like you don't even need like especially for a lot of those smaller venues, you don't even really need like a if you had all right. I think that what they should do is offer a sound guy to the bands if they want to hire one, so they don't have to pay for one out of their pocket. You know what I'm saying? If money issues are a thing, but if not, just offer the soundboard. Every band has a friend who's willing to do that, who knows their sound, who's
You
willing
know
to
what I mean?
work the
But
soundboard.
there's like fucking, what, $200
Yeah,
for the night for somebody
yeah,
to run decent sound? Like, well,
yeah,
fuck. You
yeah. It's
can't
true.
afford that. You have bigger
Yeah,
problems.
that's
You
true.
you
You're
sure as
right.
shit ain't paying rent in the city.
Yeah, you're right. If you can't afford,
That the
bro, that's
there's
like
so many places.
fucking. That's like
Promotion
that's,
was
that's
the
that's like 10 drinks. 10 mixed drinks you could pay for that dude.
seriously.
So like, and if you get a
Shit,
good,
not in a city. Yeah, it's like fuck easy.
yeah, easy.
I the biggest problem in a lot of these spots, to me, was always just the promotion with shit. They put so much on the bands.
It was all on the band. They didn't promote.
Yeah, it was just like, they didn't do much on their own to
Nah,
promote anything, and
anything.
then they didn't, and there was no, like, I don't know, like, you'd occasionally get like a good promoter who could pull it together, but the venues themselves were rarely creative, and then when they tried to, it felt so fucking like try hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You were lucky if they put a fucking flyer up, and even then,
seriously.
you had to make the flyer and bring it to them. Like,
Absolutely, absolutely.
so
That's
yeah.
why I got, I would make all our own shit for
Hmm.
everybody. Even when you're talking the bigger venues and stuff, like,
Yeah.
especially the bigger venues, then you're making less. They
Yeah.
expect more from you, and they do fucking nothing unless there's a national on the book, and then they're promoting the national.
And
You'll
you're
be
paying
the
for them.
and more.
You're paying for the national. Think about it. Like
Yeah,
all the local bands that are opening up for the national, you have to sell set amount of tickets.
and
You're.
that's the buy for the fucking the guarantee.
Yep.
Yep. You get
But it's
fucking. That's why when we did the last time we did Starline, the last big shows we headlined, I rented the venue.
yeah.
I'm not fuck that, dude. I'm not
Yeah.
playing that game anymore. Once I figured, it took me way too long to figure out that racket too. I
Yeah.
didn't know. I just didn't know. It was more about the opportunities, like, oh
Yeah.
shit, you'll let me open for so and so.
Yep.
Like, oh,
Exactly. Yep.
200 tickets at $30 a clip. Sure.
Yeah.
That won't be fucking difficult, you know?
Yeah. To get
And
people to
where is
drive.
it? 40
Yeah.
minutes in the middle of nowhere? Sweet.
Yeah. Sign me up.
Fuck, dude.
Bro, and
Yeah, man.
half my friends who live in the city don't have cars. Easy sell.
Oh, dude, there was no, people would be like, "Oh, it's so close." No, if you live in a city, you live in a city. You go to shows in the city. If you live in Jersey, you go. That's it.
I
Trying to
remember
get people we literally, when we did the break contest, we literally had to bus people in on school buses.
I was just gonna say we literally like rented a bus and we the people who were gonna take the bus we put the price of the ticket into the ticket that sale. Like
That's smart. Yeah,
so it was like let's say the ticket was $20 and then we charged them like I don't know 35 with the bus ticket fare with the fucking round trip fare or
sure.
whatever.
That's smart.
Yeah,
That's a
but
that's a clever idea.
because
We
I didn't
ate
want
it.
to eat it. Yeah, I didn't want to eat. We were so broke. We were because we were eating
We
every
we
fucking.
had we had to. It was
It
a
was like
contest.
nom 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 nom.
So
It was we were eating everything. Fucking
yeah, so, dude, fucking all of I had, every penny went into the band for
yeah, of
a very
course,
long time.
of
Yeah,
course.
but it was at the time, like, you didn't give a shit.
No,
As
I
long
mean
as I could pay
honestly, still
rent and then put the
yeah,
record out, that was
yeah.
it.
Even to this day, I still don't. I don't regret it. It's just like like the old time to say if I knew then what I know now. I
Oh
would. I mean, I
fuck!
probably would. I probably still would have done half the things I
You know
did
what
the
the
same
problem?
way.
You know what the problem is like, all the shit I know now doesn't apply because half the stuff that's around now didn't exist then.
That's true.
Like, I could do so much more. Everything has become so much easier
Hmm.
now. I can just, even just you know the mixing and tracking stuff. The technology's gotten so much better. Promoting stuff and the opportunities, like Facebook ads back in the day, like, you had to be like, I had to learn how to do that the way I had to learn how to, like, build websites and shit. Like, that was a
Yeah.
thing. Now it's like, click promote and put your credit card in. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Like, where was this shit? In the beginning, it was MySpace.
Yep.
you know like, fucking anything. And Spotify was like, I was telling people Spotify was going to be a thing. It
Yeah,
wasn't there yet. We just weren't fucking there yet. The only good thing about that is you could still sell CDs.
yeah. Even like
Walk around with fucking cases of them, but
yeah, literal cases. I was actually
literal
saying,
cases of them.
I was talking to Tommy, like probably about a week ago, and I was just telling him like how things change, and I was like, if we were still playing in Machine Elves, I was like, I wouldn't play a physical show unless I wanted to play the show. But I was like, if we were doing it now, what I would probably do is I was like, Twitch. I would just have a like literally our rehearsals and everything. I would just have like a nice mixing board, and I would just put all our sound right in. And I would just be playing in the fucking studio to Twitch audience. Like you
I
wanted.
can't. I've been wanting to do. I can't get past the way I know it sounds. It's never the same as being in the room. It's
I
just
mean,
not all the mixing in the world. Even the top tier acts doing this shit. It's like even when you used to watch like
but
recordings of festivals and stuff from
but I
like big
feel
bands.
like
It's
I
still
feel
just
like it's way like all right. I'm not gonna say it's easier, but you could definitely grow your audience more organically. That way,
yes.
when you play live,
It's
you will probably
content.
have a better
It's yeah.
showing.
It's content. I would like my thing now is like to be a personality, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're I mean, and that's the way things were going for a long time, and that's why I switched to this, the solo thing when I did. Is I started to realize it's not, it's you're a brand. Like, you got to brand yourself. Everything's about branding, 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 branding.
Yeah, that's true.
Now there's just different avenues to do it in different ways. Like, what I love about the way things are going now is you can be like a TikToker who does fucking comedy shit and music.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah, it's true.
you don't
Love
have
it.
to
Yeah.
just do music. There's a lot of artists who do all this stuff and they get to show different sides of themselves. They're not just like a fucking you do this one thing. You're one color of paint to the rest of the world and that's fucking it. Like, no, you can be the whole arsenal of it, and people are just like, I like that person,
Hmm.
and I want to see more from that person. And that is one thing I like that did not exist when we were doing it as much, at least not at the level it does now.
Yeah.
I really dig that. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, like, I sure as shit would have spent my money wiser with the music in the band, and done things a little differently. And I would have pushed. I tried at the time. It's actually part of why I got kicked out of the band, is because I wanted us to move or tour. It's
Hmm.
one or the other, because we had hit like a plateau
Yeah, that's
in
what
the
happens.
scene. We hit a plateau in the scene. We did really fucking well at one point, and then the next year it was like good, but not as good as just the year prior. And I was like, that's not.
Yep.
It's our fans were aging out a bit, and
That's what. Yep.
uh, yeah, and we weren't doing the same. We were doing the festival. You can only, we did the same festivals, and we were opening for the same bands when they'd come through, and they were good shows, but it was only so often. And I'm like, we're not going to build off of that. And
Yep.
like, the truth is at that point we needed like a label or an agent or a manager or a lot of money.
Yep.
And we had none of those things, and fuck, dude, like, what else could we do? So I tried to really push for that. Because we could, you couldn't build up the way people do on like Spotify and all that and get noticed that way to find those people, those
Mm.
gatekeepers, so to speak. I mean, shit, they're not even as needed because of the way things are going. They still kind of are. It's just different gatekeepers,
Yep.
like the people who do the editorial playlists on Spotify and shit. Those are the new gatekeepers of the
Hmm.
day,
Hmm.
But anyway, we could go on about this for another fucking.
I was actually going to say that
Yeah.
I've kept you for we're almost at the 3 hour mark,
No, it's all good,
and
man.
it's
Yeah,
been a
I got
fucking
to piss like a
pleasure.
racehorse too, so this works out well.
It's been an absolute pleasure. And
Likewise, man.
when you start up Failure Made Monsters again, if you ever want to talk geek culture, please, I would like to be a
Absolutely,
guest on your show.
absolutely. As long as you don't mind, we're very political. As long as you don't mind that,
No,
by
I
all
don't mind.
fucking means,
Listen,
dude.
I follow a lot of it. I just am not vocal about it. So
That's fine.
I'm very like, even when you're talking politics, I might just be a little quiet because I don't.
We wouldn't with you. It's just at the top of the show, we usually do like 20 minutes of catch up
Yeah,
of what's going on and shit. And then if the guest doesn't want to talk about it, we don't. I mean, our tagline for the show is from porn stars to politics. That's
yeah,
literally, we're all over the fucking place.
yeah.
But yeah, if you're cool with the fact
I'm
that
cool with
that's
anything.
kind of the tone, then absolutely, dude. We'll,
And
we'll
but
make that happen.
yeah, we'll do that. And again, whenever, anytime you want to geek out, you want to talk about if you watch a new movie or you into some new game and you want to hop in, it doesn't have to be a 3 hour episode like it was today.
Sure. No, for sure. Actually, I was thinking too. I have a few other friends on here. We should do like a bunch of us should all play like Call of Duty or something and actually just stream it. Just
100%. I
use
listen,
Twitch for what the fuck Twitch is made for,
and
right?
especially because crossplay. I play on PS5, so
Yeah.
like I have Black Ops, the last one that came out, and
Cool.
and I play
Just
everything. I
pop in
have
some Warzone or
Overwatch.
some shit. We'll do like
Yeah,
a yeah.
yeah,
We'll make
exactly.
it
I'll
happen.
play just because like I'm not that great at Warzone, but I'll run out with my. The last time I
Whatever.
played Warzone was before they nerfed the snake shot and the double. I had the double magnum with snake shots, and I had the Cali sticks, and I was running out and doing work. But
Oh, like
yeah,
if Picasso's fucking in there with us, it won't matter. Nothing.
nice. I could just
Both of us
hide
are
behind a
not gonna.
dumpster.
Either way, I'm not gonna. It's you're like I'm not gonna be like if we're playing with any of these guys.
Yeah,
None of us are. By contrast, it just fucking matter. Just
and
go and have fun. We'll just drink and bullshit and play some video games and shit. But
100%, man.
I gotta. There's a few of us I thought it'd be a good idea, so we'll make it happen. But
Yeah,
thank you so much for having me on, man. I appreciate it. It's always good to
anytime.
talk about.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. Anytime anyone wants to talk about anime, especially, like I'll go. Let's fucking go. So
Sounds good, man.
I
And I
appreciate it,
appreciate
man.
catching up with you. It's been a long time since we
Likewise, it
talked,
has.
and
Yeah.
thank you, and everybody, thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate everyone in the chat. Give my boy Santino here a follow on Twitch, and look out for his next episode of Failure Made Monsters. And I'll be on tomorrow night, 10:30. I'll probably be streaming Darkest Dungeons. That's been my new addiction. I'll be playing Darkest Dungeons, and then I'll switch over to either my favorite For Honor, or I'll be switching it over to Plants vs Zombies because I've been into that a lot lately as well. So everyone, thank you for watching. Santino, you sexy, sexy man, you. Thank you for everything. Kisses,
Thanks for having
and
me, brother.
I will catch you all on the flip side. Peace, everybody. Later.